Is that the Bethesda one, or is that the one?
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
37
that's the
minutes.
Bethesda.
Yeah, Deathloop's the Bethesda one.
Yeah,
The one
and
you
it
played
came
was
out
37 minutes or whatever.
to a lot of positive reviews, but it was
did.
it was exclusive to the PlayStation, and no one can buy a PlayStation. Well, couldn't, but and still can't. But.
Well, it's been on PC.
Yeah, but no one plays the PC. I don't know if you've. We are live, by the way.
Can I just check? By the way, can I check? Is it coming to console or is it just PC only? I don't know.
It's coming to console. What, Deathloop?
Yeah, is that coming to Xbox console as well?
Yeah, it's
PC?
coming to Xbox.
Oh, that's good. That's good. 2 days,
Yeah.
people. 2 days.
Yeah.
All right, 2 days.
Pretty impressive.
Weeks.
And Stu's review, just to give you a preview of Stu's review, it's just play it. Just give it a go. Play it.
Play
We
it.
should
Play it.
There's no reason not to
Play
play
it.
Are we ready to start then?
Yeah, we're going now. Yeah.
Yes.
So.
Let's start the motherfucking show, bitch.
Here we go. Here we go. Come on. Here we go. Here we go.
That's weird.
Welcome yo to the veteran gamers. Juju, Ginny, other fellas will tell you.
What
about
else
every
did you
single
want to
game
discuss?
we're playing this week. News, reviews, and an
Wario cheese!
Story time and Chinny's game breakers. Here comes Juke with the soundbite savior.
You require a 3-bedroom bisexual house share in Walthamstow. Is that correct?
It's the veteran gamers.
Welcome, please, enormous genitals.
Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Switch that console off before you have to press repeat, yo.
Oh, I need your advice.
Yeah.
See, I got this friend named Joey Jojo Jr. Shabadoo.
That's the worst name I ever heard.
Hey, Joey Jojo!
Hello and welcome to episode 663 of the Veteran Gamers Podcast.
Yay! 663. We're all diseased. I'm
We
Duke.
are all diseased. I'm Stu.
I'm diseased as well. I'm Chinny.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
all
are not military
diseased.
veterans. We're veterans of the gaming lifestyle.
That's right, and we stream live on
Yes,
YouTube and
we-
Twitch.
What up, SLH?
So, after last week, Stu,
Yeah.
you
I
said,
know.
"Hey,
I said,
hey, Chinny, did you know that diarrhea is a symptom of COVID?" And I was like, "Get the fuck out of here, Stu! Come on!" And then I
Stu
tested. I was
just
like,
jumps right to the worst thing ever. But
Yeah.
in this case, he was right.
I was
So
right.
I woke up on Monday and I was like, I still feel like death, and I'm still shitting myself. So I tested myself, and there's my test that I did, and that one's.
I'll tell you what, that was a test. I mean, that thing is the darkest line.
No, that was on Wednesday. So the Monday ones look pretty normal, and then
this
this one, Jesus Christ, it's like the thickest line that you've ever seen. You know when you do the test.
My first one was thick, but that is a whole other
when you do
level.
the test, like you blob it on, and then you sort of right, I'll give that a couple of minutes. And as I was turning away, I could see the fucking red light. I was like, oh my god. And it's safe to say, and this is not an exaggeration, this is probably been one of the worst weeks I've ever been ill in my life. It was absolutely awful. I was quite I laugh about it now, but I was actually quite miserable, quite
It's horrible,
sad,
isn't it?
quite. But you know what? It's not the fever and the chills and the coughing and the sneezing that I had. It wasn't that. It was the diarrhea, and it was.
There's nothing worse.
Since last.
You can't talk about diarrhea in a dignified manner. So
No.
There's no way. There's no way.
Since the 8th of September, because that was the day that the Queen died, so I remember what day it was. Since the 8th of September till the following Friday, so like 8 days, it was liquid. It was all liquid,
Lovely.
right? And
I
Monday,
hope people out there are eating while you listen
Yeah.
to the show.
yeah,
Yummy.
and whatever you're eating, it looked like that.
I was
right?
eating crisps, but I don't know whether I
No,
want anymore.
so and
I know, right?
yeah, trigger warning here. This might be.
Am I right?
Yeah, and
Caramello tasty.
and like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I just didn't eat. Like I couldn't eat. I couldn't. So I couldn't I couldn't even look at food without just thinking like I cannot. My body just rejected it, right? And by about Thursday, my body was like, I'll have something. And I worked it out. On Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I think I had about 300 calories total.
Wow.
And I've lost half a stone.
Oof.
Not the healthiest way to lose weight.
No, but I tell you what, bad bum hole, but I look great. Because
Wow.
I'm now, I don't think I've ever been under 12 stone in my life.
Yeah, you're getting close, are you now?
No, I'm 12 stone 5.
You know, it's close. It's close. 5 pounds.
No, I mean I've never been under 13 stone is what I meant to say.
Oh,
now
right,
you're
okay.
So I've
well
never been
on.
under 13 stone. I've never been
Well,
under
you're
12.
well under
I remember
13.
when I was losing all that weight for my wedding, and I was like, wow, imagine if I got under 13 stone. All right, I just shot it all away this week. It just went.
You did it, man. You did it. You got there in the end.
God. And
Taking 4 years.
it was just like the combination of always being hungry all the time and
Yeah.
constantly wanting to go to the toilet. Like, not, oh, I need to go to the toilet. Oh, it all comes out and it's all horrible.
Yeah, you go and then you want to go again.
Yeah,
almost
it's just
instantly.
constant, like,
I've been
stomach
there.
As
cramp.
soon as you flush, well, I
spasms.
guess I'll sit down
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, and
you
I
gotta
just,
stand up so your legs don't fall asleep.
I've
but
sat
it's-
on the toilet and just almost cried and gone like, what is it? What is it? What am I doing?
Wow.
Just kill me now.
Can I just say that happens to me with antibiotics? I've only taken them 3 times in my entire life.
It is awful.
The minute I take antibiotics, sort of one day in, I have
Yeah.
the worst diarrhea you could ever
That's
imagine.
Bizarre with antibiotics. That's bizarre.
Yeah, terrible. I can't take them. I've never finished a course, which I know is really, really bad.
Yeah, but well, if you're shitting them all out.
But I
then-
can't function, man.
No,
I'm just sat
no.
on the toilet.
Well, if
all day
you're
long.
going through the same thing that I've just been through for the last 8, well, like it lasted 8 days. Yeah, I wouldn't take them either. That's just
No,
fucking
honestly,
miserable.
it's horrendous.
And it got so bad by the Friday, I rang 111,
I
and
know
they
you
said,
yeah.
and they said like, well, see, the thing is, Stu, I've told you, but the audience
Told
don't
me.
know because we're in
No,
front
they
of an
don't know.
audience.
They don't know.
So that's why I'm telling the story. I know
I'm in
you
the
know,
know.
Stu.
I'm in the
See,
know.
I'm breaking the fourth wall here. I know you know, Stu.
I know.
But they don't know. And
But they don't know.
so I rang 111 and they was like, so how long have you had the diarrhea? I was like, oh yeah, like 8 days. And 8 days? You should go to A&E.
What are you talking to me for, you weirdo?
Oh my God, you're going to die.
The toilet's gonna explode.
I think what they're concerned about, if you have diarrhea for longer than like 24 to 48 hours, is like dehydration and,
Dehydration.
you know,
of
yeah,
course,
and all this sort of stuff. So it's like, you should have a look. You should just be looked at. And then I got there and they were like, first thing the first nurse said was, COVID's just awful. It's just fucking
Yeah,
shit.
it is.
And then the male nurse, the next nurse that I saw, he was like,
Do you need a bedpan?
he just went, I said, what could it be? And he went, don't know, mate. It was like, right.
Search me. How the hell am I
No,
supposed
and I
to-
told him that I went
Don't
for
know.
I think I mentioned last week that I went for a fancy meal the day before that I had the diarrhea. Did I tell you that?
I don't think
I
so.
don't know that we
No,
heard about
so-
this fancy meal of yours.
So on Wednesday, I went for this fancy meal at a Michelin star restaurant, right, for work,
Okay.
right? And I think I ate caviar.
You think you ate caviar?
I'm
But
I'm
what did
not-
it look like?
It
Explain.
looked like caviar, but I didn't know what caviar
like
looked
fish
like.
eggs, like black eggs.
Yeah, like little
Little
black,
black balls.
dots. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think that's caviar. I mean, it wasn't at loads. It was only a small amount. And I was amongst
Yeah, you don't get a lot. It's very expensive.
I was amongst like a lot of people that I didn't know that were all kind of posh. So I was like, I don't want to look like an idiot here, so I'm just going to eat this thing. So I was like, could it be that? Could it be that triggered it? And but
I
like,
doubt it.
I'd say that's what I said. It's like it's a Michelin star restaurant, so I don't think.
It doesn't
they're
mean they're unsafe.
No, it doesn't. No,
It
true.
doesn't.
But
It doesn't
also,
guarantee safety of food, but you
like,
never know.
like, yeah, but maybe my body was like, ugh, what are you-
Unlikely.
Unlikely.
Not
So
for
that's
8 days. You would, unless you
No.
have full-on salmonella or something. You'd
But it
probably
could
get
have been.
for a
It
couple
could
of
have
days, I
been.
guess.
What made me think was like it could have triggered something, right? And then I got ill at the same time because my dad said, "Like I did
It
think of
could
this.
be coincidence.
It could be. It could be like
coincidence.
you could have had both. So you could have had
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
bad
it's true.
meal. Then you got COVID, and that sort of just carried on the symptom of just like you just sort of triggered that virus and just carried it. I don't know. I'm not a fucking doctor, but anyway, the good news is.
Yeah.
I've started to eat normal again. Well, I say
You do
normal.
sound better. I must
I
have
s-
it, considering how you looked and sounded
Yeah.
on when I spoke to you earlier in the week. I was concerned at that point.
Honestly, it was. I mean, it's fun to joke about it now, but it was really, really getting me down. And
sounds awful, yeah.
And on Friday, even Tara said like, "Oh my God, you seem like a different person. Like you see, like I was sort of walking around the house, sort of chipper. I was singing, and
Let me ask you this question: were you so ill that you couldn't play video games?
no.
No, he never too ill to play
see,
video
that's
games.
when Duchess is like, "Oh
Never
God,
too ill.
Eric, what are you?"
No,
what's
well, there
wrong?"
was
Like,
there was
because I was like that on one day of my COVID pains, but
Yeah.
I knew it was passing. I was like, "All right, this is."
So
it's-
when I had like the fever and the chills and stuff, yeah, I couldn't play video games. It was very difficult. And also, I'm definitely still ill, by the way, because
it takes a while.
like yesterday, I was like, I still feel a bit rough, and this morning my body just reminded me like, you still ill, like you still have.
you gotta
like,
take it easy, man. You can't
Yeah.
go bouncing right
Yeah.
now.
And
if you want to.
I went for a walk today, and that was so difficult because I haven't walked or done any exercise or nothing for like 8 days. Right, so I was walking for 10 minutes and my hips started to fucking fall out. All right, it was awful.
Even with all that lesser weight to carry around.
Yeah, and I got less weight to carry out. It's like 12 stone 5, which
Wow.
is for a 6'3" man to be 12 stone 5. That's really bad.
That's pretty low. That's pretty
really
low
bad.
for your height.
And Tara hugged me and she was like, "Oh my God,
Where are you?
Where are
Where
you're
are
just
you?
gone?"
What's going on?
Yeah, so it's a scary amount of weight to lose. So yeah, I'm slowly. I should be going to London next week for work, but I think I'm just gonna have to not go.
Yeah, just take it easy.
And I'm just gonna have to do some sort of exercise and whatever. But yeah, I'm still ill. I'm still not all there. So for example, to answer your question, Duke, yesterday I was gonna play some video games, and I was still sort of foggy, and I wasn't, I couldn't play it for very long, and I did play a little bit, and then I had to put it down because my body now and again just goes, "You're still ill, so stop doing that." So I'm not 100%, but I'm a lot better, like a lot better than I was.
I've had a weird week of illness as well.
Yeah,
which you're aware of, but the listeners obviously.
This is just, what this podcast is.
We are fucked.
We're just moaning about.
I feel great. I mean, I'm doing pretty well, all things considered. So,
but yeah, I've been having.
Thanks, Susan, in the chat, by the way.
Since I've had COVID, I've been having difficulties breathing. So 2 flights of stairs and I'm fucked. I literally, like, I've run a marathon or something.
I can see the reviews for this podcast, like someone listening for the first time going,
heavy
just old people complaining about their health, no video games.
So I said to Kay, look, I'm going to go to the doctors because this isn't right. There's obviously some issues here going on. Something happening. Some shit going down.
You can't go to the doctors, Stu. You're northern.
I know,
you're hard.
I really don't do doctors.
I know.
I've been to the doctors in the last 12 months more times than in the rest of my whole life.
Well,
that is how weird it is.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I went. So I was telling her what was happening. I was waking up in the night, like breathing really heavily, like almost like panting for breath in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
That was waking me up. So sleep weren't great either. Struggling to work, get through the day at work, sort of getting into the afternoon and just feeling like shit, really. Just not feeling very well at all. So went to the doctors. She did a flow meter test. All right. And I told you earlier before we started the stream, but my flow meter reading was 440, and it's meant to be 620 for my height and age.
Yeah.
So my flow meter is the equivalent of an 85-year-old man's capacity, which isn't great.
No.
So
but it also does match your general attitude toward the world, like everything, get off my lawn.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you tell them that you like Lawnmower Simulator? Because that might have helped.
That might be it. But as a kid, I had eczema, so I did have quite bad eczema as a kid. I sort of just grew out of it, I sort of stopped getting it. Never had asthma, so I've never had asthma in my life. But she thinks the COVID's triggered the asthma, basically, because obviously I've got the genes and obviously the stuff in my body for doing it. And she thinks, it is. So I've been given a fucking blue inhaler, which you have to puff twice a day, 2 times.
I remember in primary school, Stu. I mean, this is a recipe for being bullied. I don't know what it is, right?
Not at my age, hopefully.
No. For me, when I was at primary school, they had to take me out of class, and I said, "Why?" And they said, "You're going to the Puffer Club."
the Puffer Club.
The Puffer Club.
Then.
And I was like, "What's that?" It was like, "That's for the kids
for being bullied.
who's got asthma." And I'm like, "Well," I said to my mates, "I was like, when you beat me up after, just make it quick." The Puffer Club.
The Puffer Club. So
Yeah.
I've got to take readings twice a day. I've been prescribed a flow meter for home. So I've got to do that twice a day as well and take readings.
I'm telling you, hold your breath, Stu. I
But
know.
here-
I'm telling you, you think it's bollocks, but it's holding my breath changed my asthma like forever. It was brilliant.
Okay. Well, I've never had it before. Anyway, here's the kick in the balls, though. Right. So I went to the chemist to get my prescription.
Yep.
And Kay has special toothpaste because she's got sensitive teeth. So I don't know. She gets some weird tiny tubes of toothpaste from the chemist. So, so when
Stop eating sweets, Kay.
Yeah. So when I've come in for my prescriptions and I gave them to him, and he came back with 2 bags and he went, "That's £37.40, right?" And I'm like, "What?
You must be joking."
Right, 40, nearly 40 quid, right? So I was like, right, well, what's in here then? So I opened the bag, and obviously I've got my puffer.
Yeah.
Right, which fine. That's, prescription. And then I've also got a flow meter, which obviously I knew I was going to get. Right, fine.
Yeah.
And one of those fucking tubes you give to little kids, the plastic tubes with the rubber bit on the end.
They look like a spaceship.
What's that for?
You stick your puffer in it.
Yeah.
And
You put it in the puffer in the end, and then you.
Yeah, you stuck it through a tube. I don't know what it's for.
That's
I'm assuming
weird.
so you
I've
make sure you
never
take it
heard
all
of that. In the US, everyone just has their inhaler and they just.
Yeah, they do that as well, but like as a.
It's because I'm a novice, apparently.
Yeah,
For younger kids, get them used to it.
For younger kids,
to use.
Yeah,
it's
but
like
I'm an
distance.
adult, and I said, so I went back.
Yeah,
in
but
the
you're
shop.
novice though, as you say. Like it's your first time doing
yeah,
it.
I think
Maybe
I
you want a
can
little
stick a
fun
puffer in my mouth.
time introduction. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went back in the shop and I said to him, "Excuse me, have I just paid £9.95 for this plastic tube?"
See, that's the problem.
And he was like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Well." And she never mentioned I'd have to need one of these. And he's like, "Well, I'll just do what's on the prescription, mate."
Yeah.
So I was like, "God damn it!"
Yeah. No, you have. Yeah, I would advise using one of those. Yeah. It's
well,
not.
it was fine. I've been using it.
And you look cool when you're out in public. Like, hey.
Millie's first question was when I told her I got one of those, has he got teddy bears on it? I'm like, no. No, he doesn't.
Yup.
Yeah.
So,
I started breaking open the inhaler cartridges and sniffing it after a while.
There you go.
Okay.
I started smoking crack.
Ginny and I have decided that COVID is a prick, haven't we?
It's COVID is a bastard.
COVID is a fucking prick.
So anyway,
So anyway, good news. I've got some good news, by the way.
All right. Apart from that, we're fit and healthy.
Yeah,
we
we're
are.
fine. We're the fittest we've ever been.
Yeah.
We've got some good news.
Go on.
I get an update weekly off. I think what's it called? I can't remember what it's fucking called now.
Oh, do we win an
called
award for our
Charitable-
podcast?
Big bulky men.
It's called
Best
Charitable
podcast in the world.
Charitable Digest, and it basically aggregates where you are in the charts on iTunes all over the world, which is
Right.
pretty cool.
We're number
because
one.
But for the first time in quite a long time, we're in the top 50 in Great Britain, which I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So there you go.
Especially when like. And I said this the other week, like our competitors these days, like back in the day, our competitors were other losers, but now it's like fucking actual actors and
Winners.
comedians and
Exactly.
You know,
So
I
Take
can't
that, Joe
wait.
Rogan. We're coming for the throne.
We're number 48.
So here's the
in
question:
UK, so that's
how
pretty
much cash do we get off of this?
Yes.
Nothing. We got absolutely
Well,
So maybe we can charge more for ad
But
rates. Not
you can't
burglar.
say-
You're gonna have to start paying more.
Talking of cash, that just reminded me. I'd forgotten all about that. I got a payout from Twitch this week, as you both know.
Ah, yeah, that's right. We
First
saw
time
that.
ever.
Of course, he had to post it to his.
I did. I'm not talking to
WhatsApps.
you two anymore.
you know what? We
fucking
would
rip-off.
we can do that. We could have done that years ago,
Yeah,
like being
good.
a Twitch. But I stream on YouTube and Twitch, so I can't do it.
You know, because I'm an affiliate and all. But anyway, I got.
Oh, Stuart is an
I'm an
affiliate.
affiliate. But you know what?
See, I
got?
think you're part of this scheme to get the blue check mark. You hear about that? There were all these people who paid thousands of dollars to get blue check marks, and they claim to be music producers, and like their music, quote unquote, on Spotify is just like the same. If 10 people all have the same 4 songs, it's
you
ridiculous.
go.
Anyway, go on.
But yeah, I got 38 quid. So thank you to all the people who gave
What'd you
me
spend it
bits.
on? Your little
Um,
fancy inhaler?
I haven't. No, I actually have spent some of it. To be fair.
On what?
But I'll tell you about it.
Hemorrhoid cream?
No.
You
Not
didn't buy hemorrhoid cream? You
Which
really should.
reminds me, I'd forgotten to put a game on my game played list, which is fucking awesome.
Wait a minute.
And
How does
and it just
hemorrhoid
reminded me because I
cream
bought
remind
it
you
with,
about
I
a
bought it
game?
with some
It
of
must
the
be a
money.
great game.
It was a
Hemorrhoid
great game.
Simulator.
I love it. I'm putting it on now. Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot to put this on.
All right.
knew I
Well,
played
while
another
you're
game
doing
this
that,
week.
I'm going to tell my story time.
So
My
yeah,
favorite
Gwyn,
time.
thank you to
It's
whoever gave me that cash.
Story time.
Yeah, thanks Twitch for the money.
Fine. Well, it's not
Scares.
Twitch. It's people who give me subscriptions and stuff.
Yeah, thanks people giving
Thank you,
Stuart
people.
subscriptions. So I had a hell of a week. You should have seen me on Friday night. Because it's been just a rough week in general from classes. One of my classes has a number of students who do not want to be in school. So they it's been a challenge.
You got that every year.
Focus. But these students are not willing to sit in the assigned seats that I gave them. So it's like, what do we do about this? Oh, whatever. That's
Kick
the
him in
first
the
time
nuts.
I've ever had to deal
That's
with
what you
that.
gotta do. Kick him in the nuts, man.
I'm not allowed to do that. Anyway, so it's been a rough week in general, but on Thursday night, we had the open house night. So I had a full day of teaching, and then I had a union meeting, and then I had to race back to the school for open house night, and I had to go home, go to sleep, and then come back the next day and teach all day Friday as well. So it was a very rough end of the week, but I got some rest over the weekend. I'm feeling better now. So yeah. And I tried pho for the first time.
You tried what?
It's a soup from Laos and Vietnam called pho, PHO with like a squiggle over it. It's very tasty. Yeah. I had some students who were like, have you had pho? And I'm like, no, I haven't had it yet. There's places that are selling it around here. And last night we decided we needed Thai Laotian food. And so yeah, we ordered.
So what's
from
it
this one
taste like?
place.
What's the predominant flavor?
So it's kind of ramen-esque. The noodles are more thin and kind of like starchy. So yeah, it's like good ramen, but it's a little more I don't know. It's hard to describe it. I guess it's a little saltier maybe than ramen. But it was very tasty. I really enjoyed it. So I'm gonna be having more pho. If anybody out there likes pho, and there's
like a bit of pho.
moment on Brooklyn Nine-Nine where Charles
You're
spills
fucking
some
kidding
soup.
me, aren't you?
Yeah,
There's
pho.
a lot of restaurants called the Pho King. So there's
Yeah.
that.
The pho
cleverness.
house. What about the pho?
Right. Yeah. So anyway, Charles
I've
Boyle
got it, I've
on
got it. Wait,
Brooklyn
wait, I've
Nine-Nine
got it, I've
spills
got it.
some on himself, and he goes, "Oh, I spilled my pho!" And he says to Rosa, "You think the sergeant's gonna be mad?" And she goes, "He will if you pronounce it like that." He's like, "That's how you say it." So
The
anyway,
pho
I am now one of the pho club.
experience. There you
The
go.
pho
Yeah.
experience.
I think that'd be a
Right.
good name for a restaurant.
Well, why don't you find some Laotian people and let them know?
Well, I will do. I've never heard of pho. Maybe I could bring it to the
Well.
UK and make a killing.
There's probably someone in the UK selling it.
I don't know. Might not be.
Maybe in London.
Maybe this is the thing. Maybe this
Maybe.
is the time
Maybe
to
you could be a
kill. You know,
pho
the
king.
time to fucking hit the pho
Huh.
bandwagon.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else got a story? No.
No.
Okay.
Where are you going? Story time's over, isn't it?
What you been playing?
Here we go. Here we go.
That's suspicious. What you been playing?
That was the sound effect that like totally threw me. Then that did. Oh my god.
That's a sound
Great.
effect, by the way, listeners.
That was a sound effect.
Yeah. So,
Yes, it was.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
Okay. I guess what? I've played
Jesus
games.
Christ.
I've played
If I could
games.
Go on,
People
no,
go,
let
Jesus
let
Christ.
Chinny go. He played
Oh
games.
wow! I
He
didn't even
played
update my gaming list.
I've
Sorry, go
played
ahead.
games.
Yeah.
I am
Play
excited
games.
Played
because I
games.
always get
Woo!
shit on this show because I never play games
Yeah, but
because
you
I
have
stick
time.
to one
I
game
don't care.
rather
Well,
than flip flopping from another game to
yeah,
another,
whatever.
or,
When was the last time you
flopper.
played Rocket League? I don't want
or
to hear your shit.
playing whatever fucking free demo that's on fucking Steam. That means nothing, right? So
Well, I
here,
only played free demos this week when I get told to.
so I'll start with Horizon.
Oh,
Zero
yeah.
Dawn.
You're liking it now. You've turned around.
I-
180.
At one point this week, I was so certain that Horizon Zero Dawn was connected to my diarrhea. I don't know why. I
Oh,
was,
no.
I was,
May well be true. Could be anything.
I'd gone slightly mad, I think, because all I was doing was, I was doing a bit of work, but then I was playing Horizon,
Of
and,
nature.
and then I was, shitting myself playing Horizon, and I was convinced that the only way to get rid of my diarrhea was to finish Horizon.
Maybe that's the key. Maybe that is it.
And to be fair, that kind of worked because when I finished it, it did improve. So,
Well, all right.
now I know that the developers, when they started making this game in 2014, didn't think of me sitting on that beautiful throne,
Didn't they though?
emptying my guts, thinking, Well, one day somebody will play this game and just relate it to them absolutely emptying their bells. And I know a lot of hard work went into
Actually,
that
that's
game.
where the idea for the game came from. Someone
But
had horrible diarrhea in there.
Horizon Zero Dawn will always just remind me of just shitting myself.
Yeah.
So I finished it.
So you finished the whole game then? You've done
Finished
it.
the whole game. Finished the
that
whole
sounds
game. Few little points that I thought was little niggles. You can customize your outfit on Horizon. You know, you can have different outfits and whatever. And in the cutscenes, your outfit changes. You know, common feature. We've seen that for many, many years, right?
That's
We've seen that. However, for some cutscenes, it goes back to the default outfit.
That's weird. Are they like pre-rendered, I guess?
Well, yeah, but they don't look any different. Do you know what I mean? They're not
weird.
You know, back it's not like remember the PlayStation 1 when you had those really nice cutscenes compared to the game and it was exciting. They obviously are pre-rendered. Whereas like why? Why would you do that? I don't know. It was very, very bizarre. The story, honestly, this game just overstays its welcome by a fucking mile.
Yeah, but they want to give you value for money.
There's value for money, and there's just please let me go. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Wow.
Because
did
I
you
know
do a
I
lot of
wouldn't.
side quests, or were you just barreling toward the? Because there's a lot of side quests, right?
There's a lot of side quests,
It's an
and,
open world game.
there was ones that I missed. I didn't do them all. But I wonder how many people finish this game because it's just huge. And there's been big games before, and I think like other games suffer from this as well. But I was thinking about why will I play 100 hours of Red Dead or 100 hours of GTA,
right.
but I played, I think it was like 45 hours of this, and it felt like torture. Do you know what I mean? Or I played 100 hours of Fallout, and I played 80 hours of Witcher 3, and you know.
Did you enjoy the basic game loop in this game?
So that's the issue, isn't it? It's like, it's the game loop, and
You see, I'll be honest, I think you flip-flopped over this game more than any other game you've ever played.
yeah, I sort of sound like I'm hating. I don't hate it. I don't think it's a bad game. I just think it misses its mark a little bit. You know, it lasts a bit too long. There's not enough variation. You know, I'm curious to play a game like Elden Ring to see if I like it because, you know, this game Horizon has a lot of Dark Souls in it. Where
Do you know what, Ginny? It's on my Steam.
I know.
Just play it. You can
I don't
play
like
it.
playing games on the PC. I just think it's
You
shit.
can play it. Stick a controller in. You'll never know the difference.
I know. Yeah. So I you know, it's strange because I'm not alone on this. You know, Horizon is a good game, but I think a lot of people feel like this, whereas it takes a lot from a Dark Souls game. So you have camps and you have to save and you get respawning enemies and it's quite a difficult combat and
It was the first human encounter that finished it for me. The first time I had to fight a load of humans.
Yeah, it's not
in like
great.
a town. I
It's
was
not-
like,
it's not
I'm
good.
done. I'm just done.
It's not fun. You don't have to do that very often. It's not that big of a deal.
There was one which was like a village on the side of a river that I vaguely remember.
Yeah, there's loads.
And that wasn't too bad, but then I came up to this. I had to go and do this mission at a walled city or something,
Yeah.
and it was fucking horrendous. And I got killed time and time again, and just couldn't seem to figure out a way to approach it. So
Yeah,
I was
it's
just like,
there's because
done.
they're
I'm
sort
just
of
done.
because they're sort of like weird man-made camps with twigs and it's sometimes they're quite hard to navigate and get your head around. Yeah, I don't know. I can't quite put my nail. What do you call it? I can't put my finger on
pin it down. You just can't pin it down.
Can't quite pin it down why, but it's. I think the reason why I play GTA and Red Dead is because I'm just engaged with something, either like a story or a character, and the story is pretty bad. It's like. You know, and pretty predictable as well. Like, because, can I spoil it? I mean, do we?
I don't see why not. It's been out
So,
long enough.
spoilers for Horizon Zero Dawn. So you play as Aloy, who's voiced.
Warning!
Remember the show? Hey Ash, what you playing, Duke? Remember that show?
Yeah, that's a great show.
That woman Ash. She's voiced by her, so she's done very
Oh, really?
well.
I didn't realize.
Yeah.
That. Interesting.
So anyway,
Come a long way.
so it's like post apocalyptic, right? So the world has ended.
Yeah.
Humans have come back and forgotten about the world that we live in now, and we're just sort of like the ancients, right? But they knew we exist because things like burnt out buildings and cars still are there, but they're very, very old and overgrown. And then she sees like this hologram, like this sort of computer door, like this door with a hologram sticking out of it, and it's like a woman that looks like her, and she's like, "It must be my mother. It must be." She looks and sounds exactly like me. It's like, that bitch ain't your mother. That's you, right? That's like, that's what I thought. And many, many hours later, I mean, I'm talking like 20, 30 hours later, it's like, oh my god, like the humans. Project Zero Dawn was basically the humans back in the day built a bunch of machines and AI. It's the Terminator story. It's that they built a bunch of machines, and then they couldn't kill them because they were reproducing themselves quicker than they could kill them.
Sentient.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So what they did is they made this sort of plan, this project to sort of like knock them out and then replenish the earth with robots that would so the robots that you're killing, they're kind of robots that are sort of digging and for like making the earth livable again, because the earth's not livable. And then the next phase is to bring the humans back, and then the humans can, why they didn't make the robots friendly with the humans, I don't know, but like so that was the plan. And then the professor who's in charge of this is this woman called Elizabeth. And that's you. That's Aloy from the past. Right. She cloned herself or whatever. And
of course she did.
And put her in. And I worked that out pretty much sort of like 10 hours in. I was like, okay, I see it. And this is like the big reveal. This is like what's bringing you in. And it's not that interesting. The acting's very good. She's very good. She's not a bad actress. Yeah. And you've got the guy from The Wire, the really thin, tall black guy.
Oh yeah, sure.
I forgot his name.
Lieutenant.
Wire
Lieutenant.
That's a weird name. That
Lieutenant Daniels. Lieutenant
Daniels. Yeah. So he's in it,
Cedric
and he's been
played
in
by
a few.
Lance Reddick.
Yes. So
he's also in Destiny 2 for those who play that game.
Yeah, and he's been in a few games. He's been in some other like Beyond Two Souls and everything. So he's got a good voice. He's a good actor. And it's not bad. And then some of the other actors are fine. So there's some good stuff. There's one character in it. There's one character that was likable. Everybody in this game was really unlikable. Very boring. Like this show. Like everybody's really boring, right? Unlikable.
Chinny, I'm not boring.
No, exactly. We've just been talking about our bowel movements and asthma for the last
exactly.
Some of us have been talking about bowel movements and asthma.
Yeah, some of us have just been talking about schoolwork. So it's not all bad.
Exactly. That's fun. People love hearing about that.
So there's one character called Elrond, I think, or something like that. Not to be confused with Elrond, because I've been watching Lord of the Rings. So.
There you go. I just said.
So Elrond, he is like this sort of drunken. I think he's like a. He's not like a prince, but he's sort of like this, like high up soldier, and his sister was like this warrior who goes missing, and he's a drunken mess when you meet him, and he's like one character that actually like you remember, and he's got flaws, and he's got like a bit of a story, and you find his sister, and I can't even remember what his fucking sister looks like, you know what I mean, and whatever, but he's like an actual likable character. And none of the other characters, they're all blank slates. They're all just like, oh, you must go and save my people, and like the Sun King, who's like the king of all these people, and he's pretty boring. Like they're all boring. The bad guy's boring. They're all boring characters. So I think that's what it is. And also,
you're just not invested, are you?
But then you look at things like GTA and Red Dead, and I don't know that much about Elden Ring.
Rockstar fanboy.
But like, I imagine,
depth, man. There's depth in all those characters.
But like, even if you just wander around,
there is. It's true.
But if you wander around, Red Dead, the world of Red Dead, you will come across things that are interesting.
Yeah, and like things are happening in that world. I'm guessing that is not the case, really.
You come across it has the opportunity for it, doesn't it? Because this happened in The Last of Us 2 as well. Like you come across like interesting stuff, like just wandering around, and you read little things, and it's just it's interesting, and they add so much opportunity to that, and they try it, and there's these like things called vantage points where you get this sort of window.
About now in Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, in Horizon you have these things called vantage points where it's kind of like you go to a big vantage point, and then you get like a portal to what that used to look like, and they but it's all sort of like day 3 of shit apocalypse, and it's, and he actually says that. No, that's what he says.
Like
apocalypse. Yeah, that's what he says.
I like it.
And he's like, they called the people too late, and I was like, this isn't that interesting. It's just you just get to a high point and then hear a bloke talk, which is just not that engaging.
Going around the museum, innit? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it
isn't like, for instance, right? You're not just minding your own business, walking along, and some Keep Fit fanatic comes running up to you and wants to race you. That doesn't happen, I'm guessing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
In GTA 5, you just walk around and some crazy woman comes up.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
And in Red Dead, there's someone making movies. He's like, hey,
yeah, just weird shit.
Like and that happens in
let me take some
like Fallout 3 and
Which
4
is
are like that.
Right.
Yeah,
it's just funny.
I mean, to be fair, right? There's more of it in Rockstar games. Like Bethesda has some of that, but it's usually the start of a quest. Like someone will come up to you and be like, "Oh, my dog is gone" or whatever.
I mean, but that's what it is in GTA, though. It's the same thing, right?
Well, sometimes, but you also will just have like and I think this is where Rockstar does a better job, to be intellectually honest, than Bethesda in programming the world, because the NPCs in Bethesda are like, go to work, go home, that's it. In Rockstar games, they tend to have routines that can interact with each other, and then you can have emergent things happening sometimes.
Well, what's kind of cool about that, what I remember is you meet her the first time, and then she does that, and if you beat her, you meet her again, and she wants a re-race. She wants another go.
Yeah.
She's like, you beat me last time, but this time I'm going to thrash you, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like super hyper.
They try some of it. There is a couple of those quests where there was this guy just on the ground, right? And you'd never see him, but there's a big green exclamation point, and he's just on the ground. By the way, there's one animation for enemies lying on the ground in this game. Like, it's the same animation.
Nice.
And he's just lying on the ground.
I wish we could see the game. That would be cool if we could.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
You know what?
What it looked like.
You know what? I absolutely forgot
Maybe we
to do
could
that.
see this animation. Of someone lying on the ground.
I don't know if I can get that.
Not that specific one, but
I want to see it now. He's told me about it.
Yeah, but we can't necessarily just call that up right away. But maybe we'll see it in the course of watching the footage, because sometimes that's how it works.
Sorry, OBS has changed. It's on an update, so it doesn't work with my Stream Deck button, so I can't change everything.
OBS is a prick.
Just thinking of the viewers, that's all. All right, viewers, it's on the screen now. Look at it.
So
I
know you're multitasking. Put down the other things you're doing and look at this stream. Go ahead.
So so there's a lot of I think I counted about 5 or 6 instances of killing someone and then they die while lying down. Like you kill them, and they go, and then I left 3 dildos in the drawer. Whatever.
Funny that would be the thing that's most important.
I know, yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of you just get there on time and then people die in your arm.
I just died in your arms tonight.
I suppose that it feels somewhat of a missed opportunity because they had the chance to sort of build a really interesting world, whereas the world is sort of pretty to look at, some cool ruins, but there's nothing there really.
It's a bit contrived in the way it presents stuff.
Yeah, but the combat is great and the acting is good. The story's just so sort of boring. But once you get your head around like how to beat the robots, it's not too bad. And so I reached the maximum level, which was 50. So I got quite a lot of XP. And it's not a bad game. I think I gave it a 3 out of 5 on my Notion planner thing, because I save every game that I play. I put on my Notion planner thing. And I gave it a 3 out of 5. So,
sorry, I don't even know what a Notion planner is.
So, like, Notion is this website where you can just sort of organize stuff like flowcharts or whatever.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I have put every game that I've played this year, so I can tell you when I played it, when I started it, when I ended it, what console I played it on. So when we come to the end of year, I can go.
Yeah, there you go.
I know
what
I
already.
Yeah.
Whereas I just have my little Simpsons journal here, and I'm leafing through it like, what is that game? I don't even know what that is.
Yeah. So I gave it. I gave it a 3 out of. I can put it here. Like you can see my Notion thing. So,
Very good.
yeah, it's cool. But I gave it like a 3. There you go.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go next because I've got to get this
Go
off my
ahead,
chest.
Stu, go
I've got to
next.
get it off my chest, man.
And I only got really 2. Go ahead.
I finished Immortality this week.
Okay, this is the
Oh,
game
yeah.
from the
But-
makers of Her Story and Telling
Yeah,
Lies.
yeah. And I was kind of
Yep.
enjoying going down the rabbit hole and seeing what shit was going down.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I accidentally finished it. Right, that's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah.
Whoopsie.
Because I played this game for quite a few hours, right? And then, I alluded to that there was like stuff in the clips if you played it backwards and you'd see an image underneath the main image.
Yeah, right.
What I didn't realize is till very near the end of the game that there are
No spoilers.
layers. Yeah, there's no spoiler, but there's a layer. There's layers.
Okay.
Okay, and I don't want to spoil it, but there's another mechanic I wasn't aware of. Okay. And I only accessed this after I've been playing this game for a long time. And on one of the clips where I'd realised that I could do this thing was the last clip I needed to unlock like that.
Whoops.
Which then went straight to the credits, ended the game, and I had no fucking clue what had gone on, right? And I'm just sat there like, because I'm like, what? I have no clue what any of that meant, right? I don't know why she disappeared. I don't know what happened. I'd figured out some stuff that was interesting before that happened.
Yeah.
I was like,
But you weren't necessarily ready to pack it up.
No, I had no idea. I had no clue what any of it meant.
Weird.
Right. And unfortunately, the way this game is structured, if you don't realize how that mechanic works early on in the game, this could happen. So the best advice I can give to anyone who starts to play this game is just there are layers.
Stop.
Okay.
Stop playing it.
No,
be
don't
aware
stop
of the
playing
layers.
It, but be
Don't
aware
stop
there's
playing.
layers.
Yeah,
okay.
be ready
I don't
for the
want to give too
layers.
much away because it is
Like a
cool to
cake.
figure it out. It is cool to figure it out for yourself.
Yeah.
But there are layers. It does give you prompts, right? But I just didn't notice. I did notice, but didn't realize how to access it. I'm trying not to give spoilers on how to do it, but I'm just trying to give
Appreciate
people
that.
enough pointers that they figure out you can do something else. Okay.
Yeah.
So I went online, right? Because I thought, well, I need to know what the hell any of this meant because I have not a clue because I've barely seen enough of this other stuff to know.
Yeah.
Wow, I had no clue about nearly 80% of what I should have known about by the point I'd finished the game.
I guess
Is that because you're just sort of clicking through?
It's partly that, but partly just because because it shows you nothing. There are no...
Right. I mean, they're assuming you're
tutorials,
going to absorb things that it's not safe to
and figure it out for yourself, which I did.
Right.
I did eventually, but I only figured it
Right.
out almost too late in the game because I'd unlocked so many clips by that point.
Yeah.
I got to the end game when I'd figured out how to learn more stuff, and then the game.
Part of
was-
me
I
thinks
got
that
the
they're
credits.
just getting too clever for their own good.
Oh
like,
no! Right? If I'd have figured this out earlier,
Or else you're an idiot.
Well, if I'd have figured out this
Possible.
earlier on in the game, it would have blown my mind.
Okay.
Right, and I'd have been like, "Wow, that is so fucking clever." And it was still clever when I did figure it out, right? But I just figured it out so late.
But clever doesn't necessarily equal good game experience. Like, I appreciate you saying that, and I can respect them for doing that, but it doesn't make me want to play the game necessarily. Like, can you figure out how clever they are?
I feel like I should have done maybe because once I'd seen one of these things the first time, I should have maybe experimented a bit more, and I didn't.
But you didn't.
I didn't know. I just
So
was.
you're not
Well, then I'd
because
be
I
curious to
think
know
that-
what percentage of people did. Like,
I think that's partly as well due to my preconceptions of the game, thinking it was a straightforward story.
well, but that's the
murder
thing is
mystery
that
thing.
everybody comes in with those kinds of preconceptions. Like,
And it
this-
isn't. There's a lot
Right.
more to it than you realize.
And that's fine, but they ought to. I feel like as a gamer, I want the game to do something to kind of nudge me in that direction. You know what I mean? Like Portal is very careful with walking you through the steps of like, this is not like other
You
games.
see,
You're
I don't
gonna
know how
bend
you'd figure this
reality.
out if you were playing with a keyboard and mouse.
Okay.
Right, because one of the things it does to like push you into the right direction is that the controller
Locks on
slightly
things.
vibrates.
Yeah, sure.
You get a bit of like feedback, so you know something's different about that clip.
Right, right.
But you wouldn't get that with a mouse because obviously there's no rumble in a mouse. So how would it convey that if you were playing with your keyboard and mouse?
Right.
Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah. I know. what you mean.
And I'll be
I-
honest with you,
it's a good
all that
question.
other shit, excuse me, is absolutely pivotal to understanding what went on.
Yeah.
See,
It's
this to me sounds like the game has failed.
I hate to admit it, but I mean, the fucking reviewers are gushing over how good this is.
Yeah, well,
and I get that, I do,
I don't
because
know.
if you
can
figure
only
out
review
that
it how
mechanic,
you
yeah.
interpret it. Can't you?
If you figure out that mechanic early enough in the game, then yes, I would have then been more inclined to be more astute, shall we say. And there are certain scenes in the game that feel more important than others. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So there are scenes where you think, yeah, that means more than, say, just a throwaway standard scene in a game.
Yeah.
I can recommend. I wholeheartedly recommend people to play this, but just be aware you've got to be a bit more.
There's more to just clicking and rewinding and
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you've got to explore a bit more and just not be more clever about it, but just understand that there's a lot more to it than on initial viewing.
Yeah.
And I wish I'd have known that. So what I did, luckily, once I'd read obviously what went on, I actually went back and did the continue, and it put me back to before the end of the game. Because once the end of the game happens, you can't access the clips anymore.
No.
They're all gone. So went back, and I did start going through it. It was quite interesting just going through scenes that I thought might have something hidden within them, and then finding it. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. And there was some proper cool stuff that I saw that I obviously would never have experienced without knowing that you could do it.
This is what it actually comes down to, Stu. Right? Not that you're stupid and you didn't figure it out, right? But what it comes down to is, did you have fun? Did you enjoy it?
I did, right? And I know that sounds weird in light of what I've just said, but I just think this is so well crafted. It's so well written. The actors just pull it off in such a brilliant way.
Yeah.
It's hard to describe how well made this is.
I'm looking at it and it looks well produced. You know, it's a well
it is.
produced.
Everything is. Even the font they use, the subtitles for the different eras the films are supposedly made in. Just the amount of work that must have gone into making this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The amount of planning for all this stuff on all these different little scenes and where all that stuff's hidden and all the different layers.
To have things appear in the frame at the right time in the right place, that's
and even a
very
linking
meticulous.
of stuff in the themes, like linking a candle to the candle in another scene, or linking a mirror to a mirror in another scene, or whatever it may be. It's so clever.
It's not like making your average movie. There's a lot more.
No, and it's so well acted. And some of the hidden bits, some of them are 3 layers. So it's not just like one layer underneath the clip. There's another 2 underneath that one as well.
Yeah,
it's so clever, and I do recommend everyone give it a go. If you've got Game Pass, just give it a go. Just to try something different, because this is probably different to any other game you'll ever play.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's difficult to call it a game,
right?
But it's brilliant. The scene that's on currently on YouTube, I've never seen this. So I don't even know what this is.
Do you expect you might play it again someday to see all the other stuff you have?
I'm actually gonna go and try and find all the hidden
Yeah,
stuff. So I am gonna play it more.
Yeah.
But interestingly,
I'm curious, but it's, to be honest, it kind of sounds like work. Like,
it isn't. No, it's not. I mean, I'm making it sound like that, but it isn't. Because once you're invested, and you're going down the rabbit hole, you're addicted to finding something else.
Hardly Dan said he's going to give it a go this evening.
Yeah,
because
you want to find out what else is going on, and I think that's what keeps pulling you back in.
Well, sure.
And you'll feel like what's quite cool is you can sort the clips by movie, or you can sort them by chronological order, so when they were filmed. So you can then, sometimes it's hard to find clips you've already looked at, but you can favorite clips if you think there's something that you might want to go back in and have another look at. Because sometimes there's multiple things in the scene that you could maybe click on.
Right.
So you'll go back into that clip and say, well, I'll click on that bit and have a look where that takes me. And then and sometimes the same thing will take you to 2 different clips or 3 different clips because there's a candle saying 3 other scenes from 3 different films.
Right.
It's very, very clever. I mean, like I say, Sam Barlow is a bit of a genius when it comes to making these really interesting story games.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love it. I absolutely, I love it and hate it in equal measures because I love
Okay,
it.
well, let's see
knowing
what Dan
how
thinks
clever
when
it
he loves
is,
it and hates it.
but kind of hated the fact I only figured out what I was supposed to be doing.
Well, it makes you feel like maybe you're not as clever as they are, or as clever
exactly,
as they want you
or
to be.
I just wish I'd have figured out what I was doing earlier in the game.
Yeah, well.
I got there eventually, but I'm old. You know, got there eventually.
Well, and I don't know. It's always weird to me when a game is organized around that principle of like, how clever are you? But I guess in a way that's a lot of games. So
yeah,
whatever.
Anyway, you need to.
Hey, the
turn
Duchess
this
is
off
home.
now
She just got done riding her bike for
because-
7,000 miles.
because these are big spoiler
Welcome home,
scenes that
Duchess.
it's showing at the moment on this video.
Aw.
Turn it off. Turn it off.
Aw.
Big spoilers on the YouTube. Pause it. Pause the YouTube.
She's
Pause.
so tired.
Chitty.
You made it.
Pause YouTube.
Uh-oh. What's that? I
That's
don't know.
better. Yeah,
Something
there's
was
some big,
dinging in
there
my
were big
ears. Was that my
spoiler scenes,
headphones
but I
or-
don't wanna- Oh,
Hello?
look at
Can
that.
you hear
It's
me?
so cute.
Uh-oh, something went silent.
Oh, I broke the show.
Oh, no.
Oh no, have you broke his earphones? Oh, Ginny's earphones.
Can you hear me?
broke. Yeah, we can hear you.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Wait, let me turn them off and turn them on again.
Oh no, the
Jeez,
Duchess has broke
it's
his
okay.
earphones.
Yeah, you did.
Oh,
All
no.
right, turning them back on.
Oh, here we
Trying
go.
this.
Let's hope he's back.
Okay, speak.
Hello.
Oh yeah, we hear you. It went real quiet. Let me try
Ah.
adjusting these audio levels.
Oh, that was close. That was nearly the
Oh,
end of
boy.
the show. There
Oh
we
wait, there's an audio. Wait. Here we go. Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, that's okay. There's a button over here. I forgot about it. I never use it.
Oh.
That she pushed on with her head. Yeah. Okay. Now we're back to normal.
Now we're back. Anyway,
There
dude,
we go. Now we're rocking and rolling.
what have you been playing?
I gotta talk now. I haven't been talking yet. This is my turn to talk about games, but I
is.
want to hear about your bike ride, Duchess. She biked the barns. 7:45. Okay. Yes. So, I've been playing Rocket League, of course. And here's the crazy is real quick. I've been doing very well in twos, right? Playing on a team of two.
That's
against Other
2v2.
teams of two.
Hello,
2v2,
soul
right.
brother in the chat. Hi.
Yeah, hello,
What's up?
Silver.
I'm at Diamond 1-3 right now in twos, which is good. And I've been up to Diamond 2. I got my Diamond rewards for this season out of the way. Easy peasy, no sweat. In threes, playing with random people in groups of 3v3, I'm at Gold 3. Like, what the
Wow.
hell? I can't be playing that differently. It's just, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, but
I
like,
keep getting
it's
put on these
just
teams.
It's going to be harder, isn't it, with 3v3?
Well, now it's even harder. Yeah, exactly, because I can't play the same way I would,
No.
and that's what I've been doing. That's the problem I've been having. Is
But
like
it's more
if
of a
I-
team. It's more of a team game in 3v3.
Well, yeah, and you're more dependent on your team. So
Yeah.
here's the thing that keeps happening lately: is the other two people on the team will go racing for the ball.
Yeah, because
And I'll hang back because it's not good to have a triple commit, bad enough to have a double commit. So I'm hanging back. They are getting a lot of points for knocking the ball around. And then I'm at the bottom of the scoreboard and everyone's like, you suck. And I'm like, dude, y'all are playing badly. And, when I go for the ball, they're leaving the goal open. So then the other team scores. And I'm just like, ah.
Yeah.
So when I play twos, I'm like passing the ball right in front of the enemy goal and my teammate's there and we hit it in. Yay. If I do that in this threes group
Look,
in goal, they're just like, huh, what?
You've got to think of
Ball?
it as like the gold 2 or whatever nonsense you're talking about is the average skill of all three of you, not your skill.
Yeah, sure.
So
Right. And
you
so,
can't,
right.
you know,
Yeah.
you
So
can't.
but it's tricky because if I play back, then my teammates sometimes are hesitating, and so the other team has the advantage. And if
Yeah.
I attack the other team, then they're also attacking, and it's like
It's
our
almost
goals
like
open. So,
it feels like
weird
2v2 you
loop.
can get away with playing like with the rando,
yeah. Right.
but with 3v3, yeah, you can obviously play rando and draw two good players and
Last
have a
season, I was all right. Like I was about the same rank on threes and twos, but for whatever reason, this season has just been in the toilet. So whatever. I just found that silly. It was really weird. I'm like, whatever.
Juicy
Complaining done.
Art in the chat says, "Am I sleeping?" I did close my eyes for a brief second there, and I almost went. Bear in mind,
possible, it's
I have
possible.
been asleep for. I woke up at like I think it was about 9, and then I had a nap at 11, and then I went
Don't forget about the diarrhea.
I went for
Yeah.
a walk, and then I had another nap Like, I just keep sleeping all that. I'm still really ill,
Yeah.
so
Sleeping
I'm ill.
and pooping. That's the
Yeah,
Chinese
I'm
story
just ill.
for today.
So
anyway, that's Rocket League out of the way. There's this game that was on sale, and I looked at it, and it was like overwhelmingly positive reviews, and the description is, and a lot of the reviews said, a mix of survival, RPG, sandbox, open world. I'm like, hey, now we're talking. Because this has always been my thing. Survival games are fun, but, you know, Stranded Deep, Minecraft, there hasn't really been a story or like much of a progression exactly. So I'm like, all right, let's give this a try. It's called Force of Nature 2 Ghost Keeper. And I'm really liking it. The key is the depth. Now, a lot of the reviews said, do not play this game for the combat. The combat is very basic. And it is. But I don't mind that. I don't really care at all. The tutorial is very amusing because the game puts you on this island and you just, you know, okay, go explore, you know, watch out, grow food. But you start out in your basement and there's this like rat that comes into your basement and you have to kill the rat. So that's how they teach you to move around and do the combat.
like every RPG, you always kill a rat.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And then, or maybe it's a raccoon or something. Yeah, it's a raccoon. Anyway, so once I guess you chase it out or something, and then you have to build a wall over the hole where it came in. So it teaches you the building mechanic that way. It has a very clean interface. The text is all beautifully designed, easy to read. And the thing about this game's crafting and building is the depth of it. Oh my God, there's so much depth. Because I played it for like 2 hours exploring the island and getting all the different resources and stuff. And then they kind of introduce the next island you go to, and that's when you start to get copper. And you can just tell it's going to be, okay, copper, then iron, then steel. You know,
So
like
for people that
in the
want to
deep levels.
visualize this game, it's kind of like an isometric.
It is isometric.
It looks really cheap.
Okay, I'm not sure why it looks cheap to you.
Because the
graphics
character
are
looks
really
like it's
nice.
like
well, I mean, the
bought
mechanics.
I don't
Sure,
know.
it's a small studio making it. Yeah, the animations aren't very sophisticated, I guess. When you knock down a tree,
I think
it
it's
just
funny
bursts
that
with the logs and stuff.
that the character picture on the character sheet is like a pose from a catalogue.
Yeah, it's a little weird, and no
It's
matter
a
what you
little
have
weird.
on, no
Yeah.
matter what you have on, the person in the character sheet is wearing like, you know, a fur loincloth, or, you know, in the woman's case, a fur loincloth and a fur bra. But you can have all sorts of stuff on. So I wish they would show that on the character sheet, but whatever, it doesn't matter. You don't play the game for those things. You're not playing it for aesthetics. You're playing
Well,
it for
I'm
the
not saying it was just an observation.
No, I know. I'm just letting people know. Like, don't go into this expecting.
So where's
amazing
where's
graphics
where's the fun here, Duke? What?
So the fun
Yeah, where's
is
the fun,
not
man?
something everyone's gonna have fun with. It's the unlock paths, because I mean, first of all, let's be honest, and this is what all the reviews say too, and it's true. If you're ready to grind, this is the game for you, because it's the type of game where it's like, okay, you're gonna build a tanning, you know, a place to tan your leather. Okay, fine. In order to do that, you need linen. Well, you can go gather some linen, but then eventually you're going to need to make a little seed bed. Okay, in order to make a seed bed, you need water. In order to get water out of the ocean, you need a jug. In order to get a jug, you need to dig up clay and then heat it in the fire. And so it's that type of thing where it's like, get this to get that, to get this, 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 to get that. And you know, once you get the production line going, it's cool, because you always have some clay and you always have some linen, and you know, it's time for me to grow some more linen and whatnot. So it gives you shortcuts. At one point you have to tame animals. So, you know, it's like you need to build a barn and tame some cows. And I'm like, okay, cool. So you get to build these traps. And it's kind of weird because you tame animals by throwing traps on them, and then the word tame will appear over their head. So you have to hurry up and like click the word tame, which can be a little tricky when the cow's moving around.
But that's how you do
but
it. That's how you do
It
it.
is how you, right. I mean, how
In
else
the
are you gonna
wild.
tame an animal? One thing that bugs me about the game is that there's food in it, but you don't have to eat. So in other words, you don't have a hunger meter. The food is all a buff. so that if you lose health, you can regain health. If you use up stamina cutting down trees and stuff, you eat some grapes and that gives you more stamina. But you don't have to sleep, you don't have to eat, which is kind of weird. I just think it's bizarre when there's a survival game, but those elements are not necessary for survival. You just keep working forever until you die. Most games, even Minecraft is like with the phantoms, they figured out we're going to make people sleep. So I kind of wish this had that. But like I said, it's so addictive. More than anything, it's the type of thing where, like, I was taking a little break from paper grading today, and I said, okay, I'll play this game a little bit, and I started playing it, and then like 20 minutes later I was like, okay, when I finish making the cow shed, oh no, it was a goose shed. I had to make a goose shed because I needed geese to get feathers so I could make a writing feather so I could upgrade my discovery table. I know, it's ridiculous. But I made the goose shed, and then I was like, oh, now I can make a composting bin. All right, when I make the composting bin, I will stop and eat lunch. And then like 20 minutes after I made the composting bin, I was like, oh my God, I have to stop because it's one more thing. It's one more thing. It's one more thing.
That's how they get you, man.
That's how they get you. And, eventually you need pure water rather than raw water, which is weird, I know, but you build a water purifier and then you put the raw water in there and you get pure water, which you can use to feed your animals and yada,
Well,
yada,
you
yada.
need to drink. You can't drink dirty water.
You don't have to drink water at all. There's no drinking of the water.
Huh? Oh.
It's really weird. Again, it's weird. Like, you should have to drink water. I think I would
Well,
love
you'd have
to
thought
drink
there'd be a turn on survival mechanics, wouldn't there, where you could turn all that shit on? Where you've got to eat, you got to drink, got to sleep.
It should be on by default if it's a survival game.
See,
but that's
Duke
not the
is
point of the game.
hardcore.
Well, I'm ready for the hardcore when it shows up. But I don't mind that you don't have to keep guzzling water in this game because that would get in the way of building all the cool stuff that I'm building. At one point, so you start off putting all your stuff in baskets, which can't hold very much. So you're just like, when can I make something bigger? And I just unlocked the chests, which have, more capacity. So I'm like, oh, thank God for the chests. But you can also build containers for the 3 most common resources, certainly at the start of the game: sticks, logs, and rocks. Okay, so I built a stick container, I built a log container, I built a rock container, and I go to the log container, I try to put sticks in it. Nope, you just can't put sticks in the log container. I'm like, what is that? That's so
What
weird.
goes in it? Just logs?
Just logs. You can put
just
logs in the
logs.
log container, stones in the stone container, sticks in the stick container.
Wow.
So it's kind of weird in that regard, but whatever.
What about, can you build a garden shed?
Yeah, you can't. I can't build anything. Well, this is weird. You're building some stuff, but you can't build actual houses or like a place for you to live until you have the construction upgrade, which is like after you learn how to make armor, which is weird. You would think you would be able to make a shed or a lean-to, because clearly I made a barn for the cow, but I can't make a little hut for myself. What's up with that?
I've got to say, it'd be much easier to store all your shit in a shed, wouldn't it, than just separate chests here, there, and everywhere.
Sure, I agree. Now here's where it gets interesting. So I'm exploring this island, and there's these little orc-looking things that come up and try to attack me, and they're not very powerful. But I was about half health by the time I was like halfway around the island, and I'm like, oh man, I guess I got to go back to my base, and this sucks. And then something pops up on the map, a little icon, and it goes, "What's that light over there?" And I was like, all right. And it was to the south. So I'm like, all right, I go back. I don't know why. I was at the north edge of the map, and I go back to the south, going the way I had come. And then I reached a dead end. And I'm like, what the? And I realized it's over in the center of the map. So it was south of where I was, but I went the wrong way. So I had to go all the way back, and I'm traveling, and then I'm getting attacked by wolves and orcs and bears and stuff, but I'm fighting them off, and then I take a rest, and I'm eating apples and stuff to get my health back. And then I get to this clearing, and there's this ghost who's like, and it's pretty funny because they did a good job of cutting to the chase. They didn't want to drag it out with, and all the text, of course, or all the chatting is, text. And he goes, I've been on this island for thousands of years. Please give me something to do.
Yeah.
And so he basically becomes like your buddy who will do whatever you need doing, which is
it is called
Ghost
Force
Keeper, exactly.
Force of Nature 2 Ghost Keeper. Because
Correct.
honestly, Duke, when you told me you're playing Force of Nature 2 Ghost Keeper, I was quite excited. I was like, oh, this sounds
Where's
like a
the
good game.
ghosts?
And
Where
now
is the
you've just
ghost?
told me that it's like this game, and
Yeah.
it's not what I expected.
You're not as
So can
excited
you?
now.
So can you say kill the wolf and the ghost?
No,
will kill
so
the wolf?
far as I can tell, the ghost will not combat for you. But it's nice because you can set it tasks, but to be honest, it's a little tricky to like actually tell it what to do.
Like
Instead,
a normal
you-
ghost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But you can like if you're at the smelting the copper smelting furnace, and you start. Well, that's not something you have to do by hand. But if you're making planks, okay, you have to do planks by hand. So if you're doing and the game is pretty good. When you start making planks, like you set it up to go, and then you just have to put your guy near it, and he'll start like actually making planks. So that's kind of cool. But here's the thing: if you set it up to make planks over at the crafting table, the ghost will just go over there and start making the planks. So it's like,
Nice.
sweet, yeah. And when you set it to do something, he goes, "It beats just wandering around for 1,000 years." So the ghost is kind of funny. Like he's a cool dude. The other thing the ghost will do is if you're wandering and you're in danger or something, or you're just, you want to go back to your base, you can summon him and go, "Get me out of here." And he'll just take you right back to your base, which is
Oh,
pretty
that's
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
that's
a
nice.
fast travel mechanic as well.
Correct.
I
And
like that.
after you meet the ghost, one of the first things you do is you build a teleporter, which can take you right back to the little clearing when you met the ghost in the first place. Now, that's cool. But when you meet him, he says, "Do you want to go back to your base?" And you have a choice of, "Yeah, let's go back to my base," or "Let me look around here." And I said, "Yeah, take me back to my base." And I realized as soon as I got back there, I was like, crap, I should have looked around there because I needed magic berries to make ectoplasm, which would let me make a teleporter to go back to that clearing. And so I had to go all the way back to get the magic berries and then go back to my base, although he could teleport me back to my base. So anyway, it's an interesting little mechanic with the ghost doing stuff for you. The teleporters make it a lot less stressful and annoying to go back and forth between places. The depth of creating stuff is so good, and I'm just really loving it. It's not going to be for everybody, but it really is fun for me.
No shit.
Pretty cool. So, Chinny,
Oh man.
on your week of playing games and nothing else, what else have you played?
So yes, I played something else. Let's have a look at what I've played. Oh yes, I played a game called Astro's Playroom,
Yeah.
which comes free with PlayStation 5. It's a free game.
Is this the from the dog from the Jetsons, that Astro?
No, it is
man.
not. I'm trying to remember who did this, but they did a game before when the PSVR came out.
Yeah, I was just going to say Astro was first introduced in PSVR.
But
It was like, kind of like it did Astro's. It was like a platformer that was apparently
Yeah.
really, really good.
apparently really
I think it
good.
was called Astro's Colostomy Bag.
Yes.
That's it. That was the one.
one.
It's just got Team Azobi, something like that.
Okay.
I don't know. Don't know what. Astrobot Rescue Mission. The Playroom
go.
was and then the Playroom VR and all that sort of stuff. So this is it's pretty much a tech demo for the PlayStation 5. So the unique thing about the PlayStation 5, as we probably all know, is hi Fraser in the chat by the way, is the controller, which I have here. So for the perverts, as we like to call them, the people that watch the video, there's the controller, and it has a very sort of cool rumble feature. And you was asking, I think, last week, Stu, about the triggers and all this
The
sort of stuff.
resistant triggers and stuff.
Resistant triggers. So, Astro's Playroom is probably a game that was set up to say, let's make a fun game where we can demonstrate the very best of what we can do with our technology. Something that most Nintendo games do. So things like Breath of the Wild or Mario Odyssey or like Mario Galaxy or whatever, or Wii Bowling or whatever it is. They always make a game that goes like, this is what everybody should do, so go and do it. And I tell you what, Astro's Playroom is bloody brilliant. It's just brilliant. It's
I didn't expect you to say that.
So it's kind of a very, very small version of Mario 64. So
it'd be lovely to actually see this, wouldn't it, Duke?
I have got it. Sorry. It's I've got it ready. All I have to do is
I
click
wanted
it.
to wait for him to pause.
So
Yeah.
it's a
Got that brain fog from COVID.
it's a 3D platformer, and it's very similar to Mario 64. In Mario 64, you're collecting stars. That's the goal of the game.
Right.
In this, the goal is to collect PlayStation artifacts. So you are collecting like a PlayStation 1 controller, a PlayStation 2 console, the PlayStation 2 iToy, the DualShock 3.
They didn't include the PSP because they want to forget about that.
They did include the PSP Go, the
man.
PSP Vita, like the weird move gun thing that they made and said
they made everything.
some people didn't like this, and it's poking fun at itself. It's very, very good, and there's 4 worlds for each 4 consoles of the PlayStation, and it's like the graphics GPU, and then you have to get in a big monkey suit and you climb this massive area, and it's just crazy how much they've put into it. And also in the game there's these little collectible jigsaw puzzles, very similar to Banjo-Kazooie, and then you can uncover this massive piece of art. But the game is just super, super charming, very funny, lots of nods to PlayStation of old. So you'll see randomly like a little box that's shaking, and if you punch the box, like a little Metal Gear robot will pop out and make the noise. You'll see, because there's every level you go, there's these little robots just playing around or dicking about.
I actually
or
have the noise queued up here. We can hear the noise that he makes.
So there's just robots like sort of dotted around the level, dicking about, and then some of them are doing like one of them you'll see like Devil May Cry, and then you'll see Crash Bandicoot and all that sort of stuff. So it's just a big love letter to PlayStation. If you love PlayStation, there's a lot of nostalgia wrapped in here. And the actual platforming is really, really fun. I'll skip ahead to some other bits. I want to show you like the climbing. There's like each world has a kind of unique thing. There's one where you control a spaceship. There's one where you have like a gun. There's one where you're climbing like a monkey and all sorts of stuff. It's very, very fun. One cool thing about the controller was when you're climbing as the monkey, some of the holds, because you grab on by the triggers, right?
Yeah.
But some of the holds are weak. So if you grab on holding the full trigger, you'll break it. So you have to gently grab it with the trigger. And it's just it doesn't even tell you to do it, but you sort of figure it out.
Yeah,
just
you sort
intuitively.
of intuitively do
yeah.
it. Yeah, I like that.
And sometimes when the game's like raining, you can feel the rain on the controller. Like it feels like rain on the controller in your hands. So it's a brilliant game. It's a lot of fun. When you compare this to like what I've been playing, which was Horizon Zero Dawn, this is like instant rewards. Do you know what I mean? It's just instant like bam. This is just pure fun. You're getting rewarded. There's secrets. There's little jigsaw puzzles hidden everywhere. It's not that punishing. It's not too difficult. It's funny. The music is fun. It's just brilliant. And the boss in the game is, there used to be a demo for the PlayStation 1 called the T-Rex demo. Do you remember this demo?
Was that to do with, that wasn't to do with Lara Croft, was it? Tomb Raider?
I don't think so.
Because there's a T-Rex in Tomb Raider, isn't there?
Yeah. Let me see if I can get it.
I don't know whether it was. I feel like it was for some reason. I feel like it was before, obviously, they released Tomb Raider, but it was kind of...
No, this is on the screen now is a T-Rex demo. It came on a disc, right? And it was like, here's how we render a T-Rex. Obviously, this is Jurassic Park era, so this is like probably what inspired it. And you could move the camera around and just rotate around this T-Rex, and it was like, it blew everybody's minds. So the boss in the game is that T-Rex.
Nice.
And it's that T-Rex, but it's you play the PlayStation 1 T-Rex, and then you play like a modern sort of version of the T-Rex. Very, very fun. It's great, and it's free, so there's absolutely no reason to play it. I suppose, there is. If it was crap, you wouldn't waste your time on it. But I had a great time, and there's loads of little unlockables. And when I finished Horizon, I deleted it straight away. I was like, I've got no interest in playing that again. With this, I finished all 4 worlds, and then there's like this last boss. Because there's collectibles and things and speed runs, so there's like speed runs in all the different. There's they're not different, completely different levels. They're sort of modded versions of the levels you've played. You can do little speed runs of them. I was like, I'm going to keep this installed because I might want to just jump in and have a quick game. So Astro's Playroom, really worth your time. It was great fun. That's probably like up there so far. Like I know it's just like some sort of throwaway free game that they put in the box.
If it's done right, it's done right.
Oh man, I thought it was brilliant. It was probably about 4 hours long. Like it was nothing really to finish it. Probably less than that actually. It wasn't big.
Well, and if you have fun, then it's
Yeah, and I was like,
it doesn't feel like a chore.
Yeah, I'm satisfied. So, I really enjoyed it. Astro's Playroom.
Yeah, cool.
There you go. Cool. I was just going to say, actually, I think Valve do this very well as well. When they release a new piece of hardware or something new,
like
they always have they have some cool demo to go with it. Yep. So when they first released the HTC Vive in conjunction with HTC, the Aperture Science thing was so cool. Aperture Science Lab, I think it was called.
But also, like
very clever.
Like most Half-Life games are demos of their source engine or whatever. So like Half-Life 2 was like a display of like, okay, this is what you can do with this source engine.
Right.
Everybody go off and do it.
Well, Half-Life Alyx was that. This is the best you can do in VR. Look at it.
And that's why they probably never released Half-Life 3 is because like, well, we're not pushing boundaries of what we can do.
Exactly. That's what they want. That's all they care about.
Maybe if they were not so good at making games, then there wouldn't be that expectation of never mind your hardware, like make the fucking game.
That's the problem.
So I'm going to talk about the game I nearly forgot to talk about.
Well, talk about it now before you forget again.
I've been looking at this for quite a while. It gets a lot of accolades, right? And I was like, I wonder if this runs on the Steam Deck.
Oh, I know what this is.
So I was like,
I don't.
So I had a look, and it runs peachy on the Steam Deck. So I'm like, this is the perfect game for this.
Yeah.
Peachy.
Take it home with you.
So with half of the money I got off Twitch, I purchased Teardown on Steam.
I'm sorry, what?
Teardown.
Teardown.
What? Sorry, Stu, go on.
What do you mean?
Say it again.
I said
Teardown.
Teardown.
So, tear.
It's
tear.
Turd. No, it's
whatever.
Turd
Look, I'm
Town.
from Lancashire, all right? Just take it.
It's a game called Turd Town. It is
Tell me.
Turd Town.
Tell me, what is Teardown?
It's
so
the game where you
basically,
destroy things.
it's a voxel game. Looks a little bit like Minecraft,
Yeah.
but a lot better. I mean, it's a lot slicker.
All right, now you just said it's a lot better than Minecraft. You're just talking about the visuals.
The visuals, yes, the visuals.
And it has
are
physics, which
one.
Minecraft doesn't have.
That's
really.
true.
The particle
Well,
effects are just off the
most of
charts.
Minecraft
I mean,
is
this thing is ridiculous.
Yeah. And the whole idea
so-
of the game is you're destroying stuff.
Well, you are, but the idea of the game is right. You're in the demolition business.
Yes, destroying.
Demolition has gone down, and people don't want stuff like demolished as much.
Oh.
So your company's failing. So what the
Right.
hell are you gonna do? What are you gonna
Sabotage
do? Because-
people.
Build stuff?
No. So you start
Burn
doing
things.
dodgy stuff for a price. You know, if someone wants something getting
Yeah.
rid of.
Yeah.
You know, you're the man to go to. You know, you
Mm.
want to get rid of something, you're the man to go to.
Oh, like, my ex-girlfriend's tear her house down, sort of thing.
So basically, the first level you're looking at here, some guy comes to you, like, contacts you and says, I need this building getting rid of. You know, don't worry, there's nothing shady or anything. Just go and get rid of it for me. Go and get rid of the building. Turns out it's listed, so this building's not
Nice.
allowed to be demolished.
Uh-oh.
Because this dude wants to build a new shopping center on top of it, where it
Nice.
was.
Ah.
So off you go. So you don't ask questions, you know, you just get on with shit.
Don't ask questions. You just.
You don't ask questions.
Stop
And then
asking
what
questions.
happens is, obviously, someone else will contact you and go, I've heard that you do a good job of getting rid of stuff people won't get rid of. So the second one was some guy wanted to put his yacht in a harbour, but somebody's harbour side property was in the way of his giant yacht.
Well, let's get the shit out of that then.
Any chance you could just go to the docks and get rid of this thing? So I set it on fire, right? Because if I was setting it on fire,
Yeah.
and they keep giving you new stuff. So every time you complete a level, you get some new equipment, right? So you start off with just a sledgehammer, then you get given a blowtorch, Then you get given something else. So they keep just giving you sort of fire extinguisher. But you've got to be careful because if you set someone on fire, if it gets 2 on fire, the fire brigade get alerted, and that obviously ends the level because you've got to obviously not get caught doing all this.
Busted.
Shady. Exactly. So yeah, off I went, and I sort of, I made a nice sort of cut in the pier where it was, and I demolished the shit out of it, which was a lot of fun. But then there's also
take that guy who's in the harbor.
There's also secondary objectives as well. So you'll have your main objective of getting rid of someone.
Burn them alive.
Yeah.
Burn them alive. But then you also have to get rid of evidence. So there might be some documents in a safe.
This is a fucking dodgy job, isn't it?
Yeah.
So then you've got to figure out how to go and get rid of all that shit as well. So you've got to on this level, you have to drop a safe in the sea. So I basically got on a flatbed truck and then drove the flatbed.
That doesn't destroy it if it's a good safe.
Is there more ways to do like what you said? Like...
Oh, it's very open. You can try it. There's any number of ways you can complete a
I'm
mission.
impressed that you
set
can
your
pick up
butt
the
on
safe.
fire and then you hit diarrhea and spray
it's very
the
heavy
butt fire.
though. When you try and pick it up, it does feel like you're having to drag it.
Yeah, but have you picked up a real safe, like a small real safe?
No, you wouldn't be able to do that in real
life. We got 2 small safes in our office, and they're only like this
they
big,
weigh a ton though.
and they're bloody heavy.
Yeah. So you do that, but then they add in time elements.
See, once you put the clock on it, it becomes
no.
fun.
This is kind of
for
fun
me.
as well.
It does.
So what happens is right. So on one, I had to go and steal the workers' logging in points from this factory because obviously they didn't want to know when people are being in. So that's what I had to do. But the minute you pick the first one up, you've got 60 seconds to collect all 3 and get back to your truck and escape.
So you need to be gone in a minute.
60 seconds.
Right.
So what's kind of cool is, though, then this is where all the serious planning comes in. Because you've got to figure out your
fun
route.
in a video game.
You've got to... No, it's cool because you've got to demolish
I'm just
shit.
playing with you. Go on. It's okay.
You've got to figure out the route you need to take, which is the quickest. Which order you need to get them in to get you to the exit of the level. So there's a lot of preparation. It's like doing a heist in GTA, but not quite as complex. But you've got to work all this shit out in advance. And then you fail multiple times because you think, right, that thing, like this, the second time I failed like by 2 seconds. I almost did it. So I'm like, I think I'm on the right.
If I'm failing by 2 seconds, I'm like, do I really want to keep playing
No,
this?
because then I was like, I know I'm on the right
me.
track. I just need to do it. I need more finesse. I just need to nail it.
Makes you
And
feel
then
like
I
you
did
can
nail
do
it, and I beat it by 2 seconds. So I'm like, I shaved 4 seconds off the time.
But that's what I like about Power Wash Simulator is that they don't put a timer on you.
No, but it's not on every level. That's only on certain levels that you play. But it's what's cool is the planning phase. Is working out what you need to do, where you can go, multiple routes out of these places. It's very cool, I've got to say, and it looks amazing. When you set someone on fire, it looks so cool, like dust particles flying everywhere.
Generally beloved by the Steam community. So
it's beautiful. I mean, this is such a great looking game.
Yeah,
I just love it. I am blown away at how cool this game is. It's just fun. It's just one of those games that you can just pick up, play a level, and put it down again because it's just kind of fun.
Is there also like a way to like just not have objectives, just go around?
Yeah. There's a complete sandbox mode where you can just do whatever the hell you want. But I think that would be a bit boring. I think I'd get a bit bored.
Well, it probably would, but I could see some days like just being exhausted. I want to smash some things, but I don't want to have a clock or like doing this and that.
You can do that as well, Duke. It's got sandbox mode. You can just smash up to your heart's content, set things on fire.
Yeah.
Just do whatever. It's brilliant.
See,
I love it.
And that's the thing is that like I think a good sandbox is a combination of those, so that like you don't have like this is the level, you have to plan it out, but you also don't have just like nothing going on. You know what I mean? Like you could have a semi sandbox where there's stuff to get, but there's no timer, there's no whatever.
I think what's kind of cool as well, there's quite a bit of comedy in it. When you get these emails through for jobs, they're very tongue in cheek. It's like, just got this thing I need just getting rid of. You know what I'm saying? No questions asked and all this sort of stuff. So it's just funny. It's just funny.
Yeah. Pete tongue in cheek.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's very clever. Works, like I say, great game for Steam Deck. Works perfectly. Looks great on it. So yeah, totally recommend it.
People just play it.
Totally recommend it. It's a review noise of. There you go.
Sound like a car trying to start.
I know. That's kind of the game.
All right, it is time for us to talk about the game that we all played.
Oh yeah, let's do
yeah.
that.
Who's told us to?
I told you.
Yeah.
That game is, drum roll please. Everybody ready? You suck
You really suck.
at parking.
That is it. That is
That's
it.
it. This is a kind of a goofy physics
Score attack game, I
madcap,
guess. Is
third person isometric cartoony game
Yeah.
where your car moves, it drifts a lot. You're on these little tracks and
You've gotta
there's
park it.
obstacles. You got to park in the little box that has a P on it.
Yeah.
The race is to
And-
stop.
Yeah.
Yes.
The first few levels are pretty easy, and then it
Yeah.
starts getting interesting with landmines and
That's right.
fans blowing you
Yeah.
all over everywhere. It's very cute. It is, not too hard at first, but the challenge starts.
The
pretty
electrified
quickly.
fence got me. Just
yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't get to the
Wow.
electrified fences, to be honest.
Oh, them
I
things are
reached
so
that
funny.
level with all the fans, and I was like, "Nah, I'm not having fun, man.
So you didn't like it?
Sorry." I
Yeah,
I
Jacob didn't like
enjoyed
it.
a couple of levels, but once it gets too complicated, then I'm like, all right, you have to be precise when you are flying through the air and manipulating your car.
Hmm.
What kind of game would it be fun for you to be manipulating a car moving while it flies around in the air?
Exactly. I
Get
thought
it?
this would
Because
be
it's like
perfect.
Rocket
I
League.
thought you'd
Get
be
it?
brilliant at this, dude.
But you don't have a rocket engine on your car, so moving through the air is a lot
It
more
does move
difficult.
pretty
in this
quick
game.
though. It's a pretty fast car
Yeah,
to be
but
fair.
it's not as precise, man.
I fell off this game very, very hard. Like I played all the first bit. Like you play like an area, don't you? Like you go up to like an
Yeah,
area
yeah.
and play all of those, and I went up to another one, and I got to the ones where you're trying to like jump into like basically a car park full of mines, and then you've got to
Yeah.
try and park into it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not sure about it. And I played a few more, and I didn't like it. Then I played the online, where you're facing 8 other people, and there's like 8 parking spaces.
Are you
and
all on the same thing at the same time? And you bump
You've got to
into each other?
park. Whoever parks in all 8 spaces, or the most
Oh,
spaces
wow.
in like 5 minutes, and I won. I won the first game.
Nice.
that I played. I got an achievement for it.
Yeah.
And I was immediate, like when I did the campaign mode, and I was like, nah, I'm not enjoying it at all. But I'll try the online just to see like if there's something there. And I just didn't find it massively fun. Like it's like well done, it's like well made, and it's cute.
Yeah, it is well made, I
but
agree with that.
it's sort of like a question of like, it's not fun though. As nice and well made as it is, I don't think it's
I
fun.
think it's doing what it does pretty well in
Yes.
that it's trying to sort of do a trials type of thing.
Yes.
The crazy thing, you gotta leap over this and go that way. And once you if you land just to the right of the parking spot, it'll go like wah, wah, and then you start over. And like the same with the landmines, like you
Yeah.
blow up, okay, it starts you right back again because the timer is ticking and you gotta do all the missions or whatever, land in all 3 spots
Yeah.
within a minute or so.
And if you
and
planned
so
in,
it, yeah, it's all polished. There's nothing wrong with the way it controls
No.
or anything. It's just I was a little annoyed more than
I was very, very quickly. I got into like, I don't think I want to do this. Like really, really quickly. Like it took me less than 20 minutes for me to start thinking like, I don't think I'm going to play this at all. Which is.
I'm going to predict that Stu loved it.
I don't
no,
know.
I
I
didn't.
don't think so.
I'm kind of much of the same, to be
Yeah.
fair.
All right.
I'm-
Hey, we got a consensus going on.
It's kind of cute and fun.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
I kind of like the instant restart. I mean, because it really is instant. You press that Y button.
Yeah.
and
It's
like
Trials.
straight
Yeah,
back at
Trials
the
is a
beginning.
good
Yeah.
comparison. Yeah.
And when you do nail it, you feel quite good about it. The on the earlier levels when you actually nail the angle and land
Yeah.
directly where you want to, you're like, yes, I just did
Mm.
that. That's cool.
Yes.
But yeah, you're right. It's that the trouble is with these sorts of games, it's that difficulty curve and
Yeah.
how good you are at controlling weird cars.
I mean, it was actually finished a Trials game. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
insane
that's the trouble,
people.
isn't it?
so I think Trials did a better version of making you think that you could do well. Do you know what I mean? Whereas this is very quickly just turns into like, I don't know if this is.
Yeah,
they're going to
and I
put
mean, right.
mines in it really, really quickly. I'm like, they've already run out of ideas.
Right. And you know, the idea behind this game, I think, is that you'll do these levels over and over and over, so that you'll know exactly where the mines are.
Yeah.
And you're and the other thing with the mine level, and there may be more than one, but the one I played was you're running out of gas. So like you have to maneuver through the mines while you're slowing down because you're out of gas. And it was like, not both of those at the same time. Like,
you can't reverse either. So reversing is like,
there's no
so
reverse.
it's, you know, they're wanting you to really know these levels very well and bounce over things, and it's like, I'm not devoting that much time to this, dude. I'm
Forward
sorry.
and stop, man. That's it.
Yeah, it wasn't, you know, it wasn't hooking me in any way. I appreciate the effort, but
the craft of it.
Yeah, I do. I think the physics work well. I think the driving is fine because obviously it's got to be a bit janky because that's the whole point, isn't it?
I thought the gameplay was pretty solid.
I think it is. But yeah, I agree with both of you. I think it loses its fun factor quite quickly.
We should do this more often. Just review a Game Pass game every week, shouldn't we? We should, because we're all talking about.
Kind of lucky.
Steam, though. I ain't got
I
no
was
Game Pass.
kind of lucky there was a demo on Steam, so I was like, oh, that works.
Lucky.
So it's Duke's fault.
Maybe I could spring for it. And
But no, it's all right.
It's
pretty good.
Show.
Yeah.
But yeah, it could be a lot better. Like I say, you're both right. It does get a bit.
It's a no from me, Stu,
Yeah.
on this one. It's a thumbs down.
Thumbs down.
Sorry.
Yeah,
but that's okay. It was fun to give it a shot.
It was fun to give it a shot.
And that's all I've been playing.
There you go. Well, I have been playing something else. I've been playing a few things.
Nice.
And so have you, Chinny, have you not? You've played 2 Point Campus? Is that something on your list?
I played two other games. Two other games.
Yeah, two other games.
Two other games.
Two other games. Yeah, you've only got one on your list.
Anyway, go ahead, Stu.
I'll very quickly talk about this because I didn't play very much of it.
Okay.
So it'll not take me long. But I've started the Dark Pictures anthology House of Ashes today.
Okay.
And I just love the openings to these games. You know, the effort that goes into this stuff.
Bloody effort.
They're slick. I mean, these games are slick. I mean, the opening is great. It's gruesome. There's loads of weird shit going on. I mean,
so Stu, last week you were playing
Little Hope.
Little Hope. So when did these get made? Like what order?
This was the last one. I think this was in 2021. It was either 2020.
Because they're banging these out, aren't they?
Oh yeah, the last one's coming out this year. So there's one more to come out, and I think it's later this year sometime.
Right.
But this is the third in the.
But haven't they just made the Quarry? Is this the same people?
Yeah, no, same people, different, obviously different game or different team maybe.
Because they're knocking them out, man.
Yeah, this one stars Ashley Tisdale. Do you know who Ashley Tisdale is?
That name sounds familiar, but I can't.
It is familiar because I had to grow up. I say grow up, but I had to put up with this when Millie was growing up. Is probably a better way of putting it.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's not that old.
No, she isn't. She was Sharpay in High School Musical.
Oh, okay.
Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
Yeah, she's been in that as well.
She was
But
born in
anyway,
1985.
she was a Disney actress.
Yeah.
But she stars in this, so she's like got the headline star. They do quite well. I mean, I know she's not the biggest star in the world.
Oh, yeah.
But they do quite well. They got Will Poulter in the last game. They do well at getting star power in these games.
She's got 15 million followers on Instagram. I mean, you know.
She's
Oh no, she's very popular. Super popular.
Apparently.
Super
Doesn't
popular.
make her a good actor. But anyway, go on.
I don't know. I've not come across it yet because I've only just got past the prologue.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm not really sure what shit's going down, but it was pretty gruesome because the first shot you see is a face, and as the camera zooms out, it's a decapitated head on a table with.
Well, she was worth her money then, wasn't her?
Yeah. So yeah, they don't hold back in the gruesome stakes. I mean, they proper get straight into this stuff. So yeah, I'm quite interested to see how many people I can save in this game. Maybe I'll do shit again and get everybody killed. Who knows? I didn't do very well last time, so could have done better. So I'm planning this time to not get anybody killed. I'm sure that won't happen, but I'm going to give it a go.
Are you far in this game?
Literally the prologue. So I've finished the prologue and I'm just started the.
And this one's set in Iraq.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. So the prologue set 2,000 years ago, like 2,200 years ago. So that's when the prologue begins.
Oh right. Okay.
And some weird shit goes down, and then obviously it's present
Because the
day.
cutscene that I'm watching is not 2,000 years ago.
No. The very beginning of the game is
Right.
is pretty olden times, shall we say?
Okay, right. Olden shit.
Olden shit.
Mhm.
But yeah, I've got high hopes because, like I say, they make good games. They're slick.
Yeah.
They're good at churning out these high quality
They
movie style,
are,
make
they
your own adventure
are.
games.
They do bang them
Yeah.
out. Supermassive Games is the developer.
Yeah. It's like if Telltale did good graphics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's basically the
he-
formula they've come up with, isn't it? It's-
Yeah. But it's a lot more polished.
Yeah.
I mean, these games are super polished. And the gameplay literally revolves around dialogue choices, quick time events, and that's kind of it, really. That's kind of it.
I'm just looking at what they've made.
If it's a good story, that's enough.
Well, there's a story, yeah. It's a story in the acting and the dialogue that kind
Do you want to
of.
know? Do you want to know the games they've made?
Well, I know obviously Until Dawn.
Do you want to know one of the first group of games
Nope.
they've made?
I've no idea what they
So
made. to
in
begin
2010, they made their first game called Tumble. And then this is PlayStation 3. 2010,
Yeah.
they made a game called Start the Party. They made a Doctor Who game, The Eternity Clock.
with. Vaguely remember that. I don't think I
Uh,
ever played it, but I vaguely the title rings a bell.
They made the PS Vita version of Little Big Planet. The Walking with
right, okay.
Dinosaurs. They made like a sort of demo, and then Until Dawn is their sort of okay.
That was the
then-
breakout.
That was
game
their
for
breakout game. They made a version of Tumble, which they did in VR, so they sort of done one there. Until Dawn Rush of Blood, which I think was a DLC. Hidden Agenda.
Until Dawn Rush of Blue was. I think that was another VR game.
How was it?
That was like an on. that was
right.
on an on,
On
rails,
rails.
thing.
What about Hidden Agenda? Have you heard of that one?
I don't know. It kind of rings a bell, but I don't think I played that either.
They've done a few VR games called the Inpatient and Bravo Team.
That's right. The Impatient was done with someone famous. That again, they had someone famous in that.
Oh, did
Was
they?
it Daniel Radcliffe? I feel like it was Daniel
Uh,
Radcliffe.
I've got a trailer here, but hey ho. I don't know what that is. They've done something for the. It says platform Daydream. What's that?
Daydream. That's isn't that the Little Big Planet, the media molecule thing? Is that, oh no,
No, that's
Dreams,
just called
isn't it?
Dream.
I've no idea then.
But they made a game called Shattered State for the Daydream. I don't know what it is. Man of Medan, I've heard of that one. And then
Yeah. Well, that's these ones. The
Little
anthology,
Hope,
Dark
which is what you played.
played last week. Well, last few weeks.
Little Nightmares 2 they made for the Stadia version of it.
Oh, Stadia. I remember.
House of
Stadia.
Ashes, The Quarry, and then is it The Devil in Me? Is that the last
Yeah, the
one?
Devil in Me is a final part of the
So
Dark.
they
Pictures
fair play to these.
Devil inside.
This developer
every
has
single
been
woman's got a
absolutely
devil inside.
knocking it out.
Busy. They've been busy.
Yeah.
But they're always well made. I mean,
Sure.
even Little Hope, which is the least regard. Well, Man of Medan's the least regarded, but a lot of people didn't like Little Hope that much. But yeah, no, I think they, they know what they're doing. They've got a formula and they stick to it, and they try and get big actors in these games.
So the Daydream is a Google VR.
Oh God, that's right.
So
Yeah, you use a Google Pixel in it, didn't you?
yeah, that's bad.
Yeah. They never work those if you had to stick your phone inside them.
So yeah, you've only just started Houses of Ashes, but so far so
Yep.
good.
So yeah, so far so good, and I'm looking forward to getting through this. I like a good horror game.
Grand.
You can't beat it. You can't beat a good horror
I'm too
game.
much of a pussy to play them very.
I know you are. Right, Chinny, back to you. Then it seems we've got two more games to
I've
talk
got
about.
two more
Flipping
games.
heck.
Yeah, you're right. I don't have the last one listed, but I will talk about the one that is listed, which is 2 Point Campus. Somebody called me out on the show notes, not the show notes, the chat a couple of weeks ago, saying, "Yeah, Chidi, are you still playing 2 Point Campus? You big, tall, lanky twat." And I said, I haven't finished it, but I'll give it another go. And I'll tell you what, I thought I'll give it another go this week. For people that don't know, this is the people that made 2 Point Hospital, which is also the makers of Theme Hospital, where you make a hospital and run it and do whatever. This is a university campus. I wasn't hot on it when I first started playing it. I thought it was a cross between Theme Hospital is very much like you're building a hospital and it sort of runs itself, and the events of which just sort of occur. But Theme 2 Point Campus, is more sim-like. You can control what happens. You can run events and you can start a party at the student union, and it feels a bit more like The Sims, which I suppose is a natural evolution, but it's not really something that I was enjoying. And I played it for about 10 minutes, and I was like, you know what, I'm not into it. So I retired the game.
Fine.
Yeah, I just
Wow.
wasn't feeling it. It'd been too long since I last played it, so I sort of forgot everything. And I remember playing this before, and I was like, I'm not.
You weren't blown away right away.
Not blown away.
Life's too short to play games that
it's
aren't
almost
really
like
fun.
it's almost like too big, and it's like, I don't know. It's just it wasn't. Yeah, it's almost like I really enjoyed Theme Hospital back in the day. I liked 2 Point Hospital, but I didn't even finish that because at some point it just sort of just runs out of steam, and you're just sort of watching a clock go by, and it's not that fun. And I just wasn't loving it. So it's a no from me with 2 Point Campus. It is more of the same. I just didn't really enjoy it. There's a lot of finicking and editing, and there's a lot of fine detail that you got to do that with a controller I find very difficult. I wouldn't play Prison Architect on a controller. I always play it on the PC if I do play it. So maybe this game would be better on if I played it on the PC. But I'm not loving it, and I don't think I'll go back because I have no desire to play it again. So that I'm sorry, but 2 Point Campus gets a no from me.
Suck an egg.
What's
2 Point
the hidden
Campus
game then?
So
what's the other game you played?
I always forget it, but I'm gonna try and guess it while
It's a hidden game.
find it on YouTube. It is a game on. It's a game that is on Game Pass, and I almost didn't play it, and I was like, I don't know, it sort of looks interesting. I sort of downloaded it as a bit of like, I'll give it a go, like just something to talk about. And the game is called Midnight Fight Express.
Okay.
Midnight
I
Fight
vaguely recognise the
Express.
name.
So it is a isometric brawler. It's made by one man in Poland, and he made the game himself for about 4 years. He's never made like a game like this before. He made a load of game for Newgrounds and things like that, like sort of flash games and stuff, but nothing to this sort of scale. And yeah, it's sort of like Streets of Rage, but isometric meets a bit of Super Meat Boy. So Super Meat Boy, the Super Meat Boy part is that the levels are really short and
tough.
No, they're not that hard. They are hard. They do get harder, but they're not that hard.
Yeah, so it's not like Hotline Miami stuff.
No.
Hotline might be a better comparison.
Yeah, Hotline would be better. But it's got that's a better comparison. But it's got the music and the vibe sort of down to a T. It's got a kind of Batman Arkham Asylum-esque counter system. So you press Y to counter.
Interesting.
What's
And
really
do you get
impressive.
little notifications like this is about to hit you.
It looks cool. I'm looking at this thinking, this looks cool.
What's really impressive about this game, you can pick up weapons, you can throw weapons. What's really impressive is the animations in this game. So I think this was motion captured because the animations of the guy fighting, the martial arts is really good, right? And
fluid.
Really fluid. And when you block somebody, you do like real moves, and you have a really good skill tree in this game, and you can unlock loads of stuff. Like if you counter and then hold up an X, you do a different counter to if you press down an X, and then you can start to counter people holding weapons. You can grapple people. You can throw stuff. Then you can do an upgrade where you kick stuff. You get like a gun that you can reload every now and again. You can pick up other people's guns. It's well cool. This game is cool, man. And I used to draw.
I mean, I've just seen him throw an explosive canister, and there was literally nothing left.
No,
it was just a massive blood stain on the floor.
And there's some levels where like there's a big crate and it keeps trying to drop on you, so you have to keep moving around. But you can kill other enemies by doing that. Or there's, that classic level where there's 2 train tracks and you can see one shaking, so like a train's gonna come. So if enemies are on that train track, they die. So there's a bunch of environmental stuff. I used to draw comic books when I was a kid, and they looked like this, or in my head,
Nice.
they used to look like this. This sort of gritty back streets, seedy sort of like, like gang fights. And I used to draw comic books like that, or like I wanted to.
Nice.
And so the whole like setting of it is totally up my
Do
street.
you know
I
what?
love it.
It's one of those games like just now when he threw a gas canister at the bulky bozo, whatever it was called.
Yeah.
Right? It's one of those games where you're not exactly sure what's gonna happen when you do something,
No.
and you end up going, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
It's like blows his face off or whatever. It's
Yeah.
like, that is just cool.
It's cool. It's all right. This game's okay. I mean, it's like it's a bit more advanced than a
Streets of Rage,
like a brawler. Yeah.
or a double dragon.
Yeah. And partly because the art is nice. And the combat feels
animations
good,
are cool.
and the animations are cool, and the skill tree is good, and the levels are really short. The levels are tiny, so you just go through them, and then you can customize your character, so you can have clothes for your character, you can unlock glasses, gloves, tattoos.
Can you play this co-op, or is it just single player only?
I think it's just single player. Yeah, I think it's just single player.
Because this would be cool in co-op, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it
If
would.
two of you
Yeah,
kicking the shit out of everyone.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just single player. But yeah, it's brilliant. It's absolutely. I was quite shocked actually, and you can see.
Don't you just love, right, when you're not expecting something and then it turns out to be something amazing?
But you can see on the skill tree now how many skills there are, but also some of the animations that you get in them, and it's like really impressive. And there is a story, and you have this sort of talking drone that's kind of your Navi from Ocarina of Time that follows you around and goes, "Don't question it, just do what I say," sort of thing. So there is a story, but honestly, I skip a lot of the story because it's what is it going to be? Just some sort
You're
of.
not there for the story, are you?
No, not really. I'm there for the gameplay and for the setting. I just love the setting of it, and like that sort of like, just noir type gritty, like part noir, part like warriors, part dodgy street cop, sort of all that sort of stuff.
You know though, I see stuff like this and I think you know when we play a game, it's a bit shit.
Yeah.
And you think the developer must sit there and think, it's not quite right, this,
Yeah.
I don't think it's as good as it could be. And then you see something like this, and you think the developer must be sat there thinking, "I fucking hit the jackpot."
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think he's done anything too complicated here. I think he's just sort of done what he wanted to do and
nailed
done it well.
it. He's just nailed it, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's just all right. It's just like
it's a bit. It reminds me of a less comical version of Angerfoot.
Yeah, a little bit.
That fluidity and sort of just kicking the shit out of everybody.
But when I say like it's that Batman combat, do you know what I mean? It's that stuff.
Yeah, it's a bit more skill based.
Yeah, and it's not. It does have difficult parts. Look, I have died quite a lot, so when I don't compare it to Super Meat Boy or Hotline Miami, there is a lot of dying. But the levels are so short that it's not.
It's not a big chore to redo.
No, not at all. And you constantly like just picking up weapons that enemies have dropped, and sometimes like you just get backed into a corner like you just did then, and you're just like, fucking hell, I'm in this room, like I've got to get out, and you're just battering people constantly. So yeah, it's good. And sometimes you do a level and you get like a grade. You get graded on every level you do, and you get graded like D or whatever, and you're like, oh, that was really shit. And you just fly through a level, just do 100 hit combo or whatever, and then you get a grade A, and it's just gone really well. So it's all pretty basic stuff. But yeah, and the music is also really good. So I read up on who made it, and yeah, so it was a guy that made it on himself. And then he got another guy to come in and do the music. So this artist did this music, and it was all really, really good. And then he got a martial arts expert to do some motion capture for him, and they recorded loads of like motion capture. So I've just put on that, and then the only sort of niggle on it is that you can so if you unlock a skill, you can unassign a skill as well. So like you want to just take it off for a little bit, but it was a little unclear of whether I turn it on or off. There's a tiny little tick on one of the things, and I missed it, And I was like, I'm sure I could be able to do that before, and I couldn't. So that was one thing.
That reminds me of in Borderlands, you can assign things the junk classification, and then just sell all junk. But it was hard to figure out where that was in Borderlands 2. So it's a matter of making sure your AI is user friendly.
Yeah,
not every game developer does that.
Yeah,
and if it's one guy. I mean,
but also like everything else, he seems to have nailed. You know, when somebody's getting ready to punch you, if it's something that you can counter, he's highlighted white, and if it's something that you can't counter, he's highlighted red. You know, it's clear
you
button
need to
prompts.
dodge instead. Dodge.
Yeah, when there is a button prompt, the camera zooms in a little bit. You know, that's really subtle, but it's nice. And all there's lots of combos that you can unlock. There's new counters, there's new moves, destructible environments a little bit, lots of physics with those sort of boxes in the room. There's just a lot going on. So that's Midnight Fight Express. It's available on Game Pass. It's very throwaway. Like, you could look at it and go like, I don't know, it doesn't look great, but I'm very impressed with it, and I'm definitely going to be playing it more. There's 40 levels or 41 levels, I think, because one of them's a boss. And I'm about, I don't know, 14 levels.
So have you got to Little Tony? Have you done
yeah,
Little Tony?
I've got to where we are on the video. Yeah, I fucked him up. So it's good fun. It's good fun. It gives you little hints, like if there's somebody, because you're fighting about 6-7 people at once, sometimes more. You know, but it says like, oh, if somebody has a gun in the group, kill him first. Like, just like batter him first. So there's a little bit of tactics as well. Same way as like in Batman, there's a bit of tactics when you're fighting. I should play Batman again. Batman's great.
Yeah, you should. I kind of like the way that the big characters move like you'd expect them to.
Yeah. There's lots of like
lumbering a little. Yeah.
There's also a there's a mode called the Playroom. So every time you come across a new type of baddie, you unlock them, and in the Playroom you can. It's basically like, I think it's like a wave. What do they call it? Horde mode, like kind of horde mode sort of thing. I haven't tried it, but I think that's the impression I was getting. So yeah, tons of unlockables, tons of skills, lots of levels, good fun, good combat, good graphics, good music. Midnight Fight Express.
It's like Jason Statham, the game.
Yeah, a little bit of that, a little bit of John Wick. Yeah, it's all that sort of stuff. Yeah, very good.
It does look cool.
It's cool. Very cool.
I mean, I like a good like Devil May Cry, Batman type combat game. So you know what I mean.
I recommend it.
Bayonetta.
You have got.
Just play it, Stu. Just play it.
I'm just gonna fucking play it.
Why don't you play it for next week, Stu, and give me?
I'll play it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna play it. I'll probably be shit at it, but I'm gonna play it.
I'm gonna try and finish it for next week. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you go for it. I'm gonna play it.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
right.
We have gone on a bit tonight. We have got
yes, we have.
There's quite a bit
I'm sorry for playing games.
How dare you, Chinny? I liked you better when you weren't sick.
When you don't.
Putting news.
Joking. Of course, it's good that you played games.
I've got a lot of emails, but let's.
You had like 3 weeks to catch up on, so.
Super quick news. Are you ready?
Super quick news.
GoldenEye 007 coming to Xbox Game Pass, Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
What?
Excited? No, not bothered.
What? Say that again.
Switch.
Say that again.
GoldenEye 007 coming to Xbox Game Pass and Nintendo Switch.
The original.
You played on the Game Pass?
1997's
You ready to experience how not much
game.
fun it is compared to games that are out now?
Wow.
It's coming to Xbox
You
Game Pass.
can't go
and
back,
Switch. It was
people.
announced
It's not going to
today.
be fun. They're just trying to get your money for nostalgia.
Wait.
You'll play it for 20 minutes and go,
It's on Game Pass. You don't have to buy it if you got Game Pass.
Yeah, but they're expecting people to sign up for it.
What?
Is it?
What are
Has
you
it been
talking about?
touched up?
Well, if you'd let me talk, Duke, I will tell you what it says. The N64 game has been faithfully recreated for Xbox consoles, said. It will include achievements, 4K resolution for sporty TVs, and a smoother frame rate. There will be split-screen local multiplayer that benefits from improved frame rate too. So no, not much by the look of it. They've just put.
But it is.
Meanwhile, you can't play Quantum of Solace on Steam, fuckers.
It is criminal.
That's a good 007 game.
That GoldenEye 007, because I know they did this years ago.
You can see all those blocky graphics in 4K. What do you want?
Dan says it's been touched up good and proper, Chin.
They did this years ago. I don't know if you remember this story, but they actually made this game in HD years ago when like Xbox Live Arcade was a thing. You know when they did like Perfect Dark on the Xbox
Yeah, I
Live
remember
Arcade?
that. I remember.
Because there was achievements that existed for GoldenEye, so they were like doing it, and then for some reason it didn't go through. But it is weird that GoldenEye 007, though it hasn't aged well, partly because of the frame rate and partly because it's part of the ugly 3D.
Well, the frame rate's been sorted and
Yeah.
it's in 4K.
Yeah. So, but it is a game that is iconic. Do you know what I mean? It always comes up. People always talk about it. It's in a lot of people's memories, and there is no modern way to play it. So, it's only a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to play it.
About that.
I mean,
I'm
that's
going to play
fine.
it. I love it. I love GoldenEye 007. I always loved it.
I hope it is an enjoyable experience for you. I know that if I went back to games that I played when this came out, I'd probably play them for 20 minutes and then go,
No, I would play all this all the way through, definitely.
Okay, great.
And
More
with
power
modern
to you.
controls as well. I'm down.
Okay,
There you go. He's down for it. He's down
When's
for
it coming out?
go get it.
No, that's a good question. I have no idea. Let me look.
Look what a fucking news story this is.
Well, I didn't know you want to know dates and shit.
I don't think anybody.
Ginny's all-time favorite game that he talks about a lot.
I don't
It
think
doesn't say. It just
anybody
says
at the
coming
BBC
soon.
news desk is worried, are they?
Coming soon.
He's
that's
coming
all it
for us.
say.
The one dude had his
Oh,
wife
he's coming
slumping on him and
soon.
turned down his headphones.
Cool. Very good.
The other guy's got massive diarrhea all day.
Okay.
Next one, next one.
Are you quite fucking done?
No, I got a lot of funny jokes about diarrhea.
Bet you have. Bet you have.
Go ahead, next news story.
Okay, next news story
Super
is
quick news.
Naughty Dog has confirmed Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection for the PC.
Oh my god.
Oh right, yeah.
Which is a bit weird, right? If you've never played any of the other Uncharted games, because you're literally getting a Thief's End, which was Uncharted 4, and the Lost Legacy,
Yeah.
as a duo pack. So if you've never owned a Sony machine, you're literally starting the series at number 4, which
Yeah.
is a bit weird.
Because they have got the Uncharted collection as well.
That's not out on PC though, is it?
So that
I
you
don't
would think, but you would think they would release that
yeah,
first.
yeah, they just release that on PC, then release this.
Yeah, because that exists on the PlayStation 4 and 5. I've got it.
Yeah.
It can't be that hard to fucking move it over,
Port
surely.
it. But you've got to remember the biggest issue they've got with that is that it was fucking built for the PS3, wasn't it, with that weird architecture? So it might not be that easy to port onto the PC.
It can't be that hard.
You wouldn't have thought so, but who fucking knows? That fucking PS3 had some weird shit going on, didn't it? It had some weird shit, that George Foreman grill. So that's cool. It is a cool that you can get to play Uncharted on a PC. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Breath of the Wild sequel is officially titled The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. And it's
Okay.
out next May. So there you go. I've got a date. May the 12th,
There
2
you
days
go.
after my birthday.
I'm surprised they're not doing Breath 2.
Maybe.
I mean, no, seriously. I mean, Breath of the Wild was such an incredible success. I don't know why they're
Well,
not
that's
just...
kind of what this is. It's Breath of the Wild 2, but it's just
Yeah.
called Tears
I
of
think
the Kingdom.
Duke's is thinking that like the name has some sort of power. Is that right?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like whatever. I should wait till there's more information.
I honestly, I don't think it matters. I think they can just release a
Okay.
Zelda game and
That's
cool.
fine.
They can
And
call
the
it.
good thing is, dude,
They can call it Link.
diarrhea.
Link has diarrhea.
Link has COVID diarrhea. There you go.
And
Oh, there's a title for the show.
Yeah,
this
we got
week.
it, yeah.
There you
Link has
go. Link's COVID diarrhea.
yeah,
Maybe we should make light of COVID.
We've
Just
had some really weird
focus on the
titles
diarrhea.
lately, I have to say.
Yeah.
And you'll be very pleased to know, Duke, that all of the mechanics are intact.
Okay.
So you'll still have
Including-
a standard bar.
Constantly
Yeah,
picking new weapons.
indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. So that's going
Take
on.
this. Oh
There
no.
you go.
Take this. Oh no.
I should. Yeah, I played about 25 hours of Breath of the Wild, and I did
Did
like
you ever
it.
finish it?
I never
Did you not
finished
finish
it.
it?
No,
Oh, I
never
finished it.
Yeah.
I like that game. It was good. Ignore
Yeah.
what Duke says. He knows nothing. Resident Evil 4 Remake is coming to PS4
Take
as
this.
well as
Oh no.
PS5.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, why not? Why not?
Why
I mean,
not?
I've played this very recently in VR, so I have no real compulsion to play it again at this point in time, I don't think. But it is a cool game. It's so good. So good. Street Fighter 6 reveals its full launch roster. There you go, Chinny.
Okay.
One for you
Is
there. You like-
Blanca on it?
I don't know. Let me have a look. I haven't looked. Okay, you ready?
Probably is. I can't imagine them doing a Street
Here
Fighter
we
game
go.
without him.
Ryu, Ken, Zangief,
Of course.
Dalsim,
Yes.
E Honda, Blanca, Guile,
Hadouken!
Chun-Li, Cammy,
Yes.
Jury, Luke,
Yes.
DJ, Kimberly,
Now we're getting to
Jamie,
the people
Bannon,
I haven't played any games since
Marissa,
1993. So
Lily, and JP.
none of these
There you
people.
go. That's a full roster. There you go. Are you excited, Ginny? When was the last time you played a Street Fighter game?
Not that long ago, because Simeon is a massive fan of Street Fighter, and my brother Pete is a massive fan of Street Fighter. So Street Fighter comes out quite a lot. Yeah.
Very good. There's been loads of information this week about the Sony PSVR 2. There's loads of the news outlets have had hands-on time with it. Had a go to see what they think.
Yeah.
And the general consensus is
it's good.
It's pretty fucking good, apparently.
Yeah.
They're all losing the shit over it. They said that the screens look amazing. It's 4K resolution. It's got eye tracking. The inside-out cameras are cool because what they, unlike the Quest 2, it actually just maps whatever's in your room itself, so you don't have to do any boundary shit. It just automatically does it itself when you look
Works
around.
outside, apparently.
It works outside. It's got haptic feedback in the controllers, much the same as the PS5 controller. It's got obviously resistant triggers. It looks pretty cool, and it's lightweight apparently because obviously there's no gubbins inside it because it's still using UPS. One wire though. The only trouble is you're still wired up.
Still wired up.
You're still wired up.
So you gotta drag your fucking PS5 outside.
Yeah, if you want to play outside, you've got to take that out with you. It is a long cable though, apparently, and it is very, very lightweight. So it isn't it doesn't get become a thing. Apparently, you when you start playing, you barely notice it's there until you get tangled up in it and fall over. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, they've put some cash into this thing. They've not gone, just do some crappy sequel. It'll be fine. They've really put some development time into this to try and make it as cool as possible.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see. Valve have finally shown off their much delayed Steam Deck docks at the Tokyo Game Show. So this allows you to plug it into a telly to charge it and plug other shit in it, USB ports on it and stuff like that. When it comes, and you can obviously stand your Steam Deck up in it, so you can use it to like a Switch kickstand, if you will.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot. I mean, I think there's 2 USB ports and 1 HDMI port in the back of it. So it's not the most fantastical of accessories, really. In a way, but it'll charge your console while you're playing it and stuff, so that's kind of cool, I guess. Oh yeah, that was the other thing actually. Hardly Dan just reminded me, I forgot about that. Yes, the PSVR 2 has no backwards compatibility with original PSVR games. Sorry, PSVR 2.
So fuck you, basically.
Yeah, so fuck you. Any games you bought for the PSVR won't work on it, which is weird because it's the hardware that does that, not the actual headset. It's the PS5 itself. So if the back was compatible for the console, they should just work on the headset because it's literally just like having a telly on your head, isn't it? Let's be honest. Yeah. So that makes no sense, but apparently that's the way it is.
Screw you. Screw you.
Suck it up. And that's it for news this week, but we have got a lot of emails, so let's get into
All right.
those.
Is this the last week of...
Yes, I think it is.
That ruled.
So this is the last week where people will be entered into the T-shirt draw.
Somehow I think we'll have fewer emails next week. I don't know why. I just have a sense.
So if you can guess before I tell you who this email is off.
Okay.
So this email is entitled, "So this is a thanks I get."
Jason Gallagher.
No. Hello, veterans of the gaming lifestyle.
Hello.
Okay.
I thought I'd wait until last week to find out if I was getting my hat thrown into the ballot for the fine, luxurious T-shirts that you are giving away.
Amar.
No. I would have thought that this, with the thanks to all of my service done.
Antonio.
It is Antonio.
Oh, yeah.
The veteran gamers.
We should have given him a mulligan for that.
you wonderful men and Stuart, sometimes at very short notice. It would be rewarded with a free T-shirt and perhaps even a personal thank you mix from the illustrious DJ No Clue.
Yeah.
And yet, Nothing.
Well,
So
Antonio.
I must pray to your RNG gods and enter myself into this here ballot.
Yeah.
So what's your answer? What are you saying, Chinny?
I probably would have given Antonio his own T-shirt.
I think he should have one. I think Antonio gets a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Please. You know what I mean? He's pretty
For
much
long
an honorary
service.
member of the team. Yeah, he's an honorary member of the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're not getting entered into the ballot because you're going to get one. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to put him in. Yeah, I'm
no,
not.
don't put him
He'll
in
get
at
one. He'll get one by default.
I do not come alone. However, as I do have
Uh-oh.
a question. In fact, 2 questions.
Okay, hit us.
I mentioned in the previous episodes that I now work in video production doing what I love. But that
Yay.
means my main hobby, video production, is now my career.
Yeah.
From there, I've lost my main hobby. God damn it, this is a lot of hobbies. Unless I decide to script, shoot, and edit in my free time. Basically, Mike, I can now see why the EGX videos take you so long to do.
Ah, a little bit of empathy.
So, question number 1. Did any of you guys have the same experience with a hobby when it became work or when you reached a goal you really wanted to get to?
Well, yeah, I mean, once I started teaching creative writing, I had 0 time during the school year to write. So that's the most frustrating thing about teaching creative writing is, but on the other hand, it makes summers very productive because I'm like, man, when it's summertime, I'm gonna write so much. So, yeah.
Well, there you go.
I know how you feel,
Chinny.
man.
Chinny, what about you?
Yeah, definitely with the video stuff. I have very little desire to make any videos. Because I would have by now. I would have made that EGX video if I really wanted to, and I haven't. But I just don't have any desire to do it. Yeah. So that I think. I learned the guitar when I was young because I always wanted to know how to change chords without looking at it. That was the only reason.
Interesting.
I didn't want to be in a band. I didn't want to play for any reason. I just sort of wanted to learn because I thought it was interesting.
Do it for yourself.
Yeah, and then so then I got like sort of bored of that. But these things come around because I have a library of hobbies. That's how I look at it. I have
Kind of
like
rotate through them.
and I rotate through them. Yeah, that's what I do. So I have.
I tend to be more of a person who picks them up and puts them down. So, cross stitching, I'm still working on my latest piece, but it's been like 2 years now that I've been working on it.
I have. So my hobbies are probably snooker, video production, whatever.
Video games,
playing the guitar, playing the keyboard, and then adding that new one, which I've always had the sort of desire to do, which is like making little beats on that keyboardy thing.
Yeah.
Those are my hobbies, and yeah, I've sort of rotate. I've always got like say 3 on the go. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah, I'm very
one's
similar. I
more
must admit, I always have a
dominant.
lot of hobbies. Obviously, I do video games is the biggest one, I suppose. Now, nerdy board games. Love learning new nerdy board games to play. Obviously, the DJ thing, like messing with controllers. Roller skating, obviously, was a big thing for quite a long time.
Yeah,
That's right.
I tell you what, I could definitely get into clay pigeon shooting.
Play pigeon shooting for Chinny now.
I did that last
Reading.
Saturday.
I read loads of stories. Listen to stories on Audible and all that kind of stuff. What else do? I do lots of things. I'm never short of anything to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's always something I can be doing.
But then sometimes you're like, I just want to watch something on Netflix. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Yeah, there is that.
Yeah, no, it happens, Antonio, and you can only do so much. So you sort of just, I wouldn't feel guilty about it. Just find something else. Like I've always wanted to make beats on that sort of stupid little MIDI player.
That's an interesting thing you just said there, Chinny, because his second question is, what advice do you have for finding a new hobby? Outside of video games and a bit of gym action, I feel a bit stuck and lost once I turn off for the day.
There's always like a niche for something. There's probably if you dig deep, or maybe you'll have it as a shower thought. You'd be like, you know what? I've always had the itch to do that. Right? I've always had that little sort of niggle to do that.
Well, that's like me with the DJ thing because I've always loved dance music.
Yeah,
I've always wanted to have a go.
Yeah,
you know
and I've always wanted
to mix dance music. Yeah, I can actually. I'm pretty good at it.
I've always wanted to make beats and just sort of dick about. Again, just for my own amusement, really.
Yeah.
And I have a strong like I used to. I mentioned it on the show actually by coincidence. But I used to draw comics when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I've still got it in me. Like I remember playing that, you know, that fighting game.
Yeah.
Where I was playing it, I was like, I'd love to draw another comic, but I'm like, obviously now I'm an adult, but my drawing abilities.
That doesn't matter.
No, but like
that,
my drawing abilities are, drawing takes practice. You know, like obviously, it just takes practice to get good at drawing.
Oh, definitely.
And I've never been great. I'm okay at drawing. I'm not brilliant. I'm not an artist by any long stretch, but I can draw a bit. So I'm like, when I was playing that game, I was like, oh, I'd love to draw like a little. It's your creative muscle, and any way that you can add something to the world that wasn't there with your creative muscle. Doesn't matter what it is. If it's playing music, making beats, being a DJ, drawing a comic, writing a book, whatever it is, if you just make something that wasn't there before, whether you just save it on your computer and no one ever hears it or sees it, or you put it out there and people like it or whatever, it doesn't matter. For me, it's just, I've just got to get it out. You know, when I made those beats on that MIDI player, I made that stupid song about Stew, which is, I think it's actually here. Where is it? You know, and I was like, I'm done. You know, like that's fine. Like, Stew, you know, I'm done.
Just
so
a little hook.
Okay.
Just a hook.
So it's just, you've got to get it out. You've got to get it out. It's like a release. It's like, I've done it. Right, okay. And Duke probably feels the same with his stories, and Stu probably feels the same about Lucas. Oh, I like these 3 songs. I want to mix these 3 songs together.
Yeah,
and you just,
what goes together.
you get it out of your system, and it's just like a relief, and it's recorded somewhere, and you're like, okay, if I ever want to hear it again, I can hear it or read it or whatever, and it's done. So you've just got to, you're not getting a creative release, Antonio. It is probably what it is. So you just need to like, maybe it's an old hobby, because snooker for me was an old hobby, right?
Yeah.
And snooker was something that I fell out of love with and then fell back in love with. So, and I always wanted to like get to a certain level and never got there. So I wanted to just start doing that again. And that requires so much of your brain and creative thinking and like, it's like puzzle solving. Like snooker's chess with balls, so it's like puzzle solving. But it takes a lot out of you. So it's just interesting just to keep your brain matter going. So it's important.
Definitely.
It's important that you find something else. But either really have a good think about. I've always fancied that, but I've never really like put some time into it. That's probably a good time to do that now, or go back to an old hobby that you haven't done for a while.
Very good. He does say
maybe if we still have lots of other email, we should.
Yeah. He says, I was
moving.
looking into music production as a possible avenue, in particular hip hop production, as that's a genre of music I personally connect with a lot. But there's so much in that field to learn that I've got no clue where
That
to start.
That don't matter. When I was
like
YouTube.
whatever you're interested in doing, just start doing it, and then you'll
Yeah,
learn
have
as
a
you
go.
go. You know, like.
But whatever you're
Yeah,
interested in
definitely.
doing, we'll always have that.
Yeah, as long as you're having fun with it, and as long as you see progress. Because I started making music when we're talking 1996, something like that. And like you go back to the stuff I made back then, it's just shit. But I had fun with it, and I kept going, and I got better and better and better. And,
Every hobby you think about starting, there are like, but there's so much to learn. Do you know what I mean? If you try to pick up golf, then you get into it, and then the whole culture of golf, it's like, hang on, like, do I want to go that far, or do I just want to enjoy it? So it's how, like, I'm making these little beats, but every time I go on YouTube, they go, well, this software is a bit basic. If you really wanted to use it, and like use this other software, I'm not interested in that. I just want to make something with this software.
Go.
So
I mean, that's like me. I mean, if I listen to a mix I've done recently compared to some of the stuff I did at the very beginning, the polls are like where I'm mixing in, do you know what I mean? It's just like when you listen to just the way I mix now compared to what I used to do. It's just
my trouble is I peaked too early with this.
Oh,
you know what I mean? That's my issue.
There's nowhere to go
Totally
but
did.
down from there. Yeah.
Yeah, there is. You're already at the pinnacle.
Yeah.
Next email is off Martin, and he says this. Thanks for suggesting great games to play.
You're welcome.
Hello, veteran gamers. It's Martin from Devon. Xbox gamer tag Shark2910.
Okay.
Shark.
2190. He says, I hope you're all keeping well and had a good week. I wanted to say thanks for suggesting the game Immortality on Game Pass.
There you
As
go.
this was a
Stu.
game, that's me. I initially played for a while and then uninstalled it. It didn't make any sense to me. But after hearing Stu talking about how much he was enjoying it, I decided to try it again, and I am now loving it and fully invested. There is so much to discover, and it's a real adventure. It's easy to get lost down a rabbit hole following leads, and shows what a clever game it really is, and one I may not have played otherwise. So thanks again, Stu.
I got a clip of one of the secret scenes.
Stu.
I wonder if you notice while you're playing, the controller sometimes starts to vibrate. This is your cue to start adjusting the speed of playback. That's all I can say without giving away spoilers. Finally, I have a question. Which game have you bought maybe in a sale without knowing how much it would turn out to be a gem that you really enjoyed playing?
Night Sky. I had no idea that Night Sky was going to be one of my favorite games of all time.
That's a good one.
I think I got it on sale for like $1.
I've got a good one. Crackdown, because everyone fucking bought it just so they could play Halo 3 beta.
Yes.
And that game was fucking amazing in its own right. And a lot of people had never even played it. They literally bought it, played the beta, and then got rid of the game and never played Crackdown. Yeah. It was amazing.
And it was co-op as well. I remember playing Crackdown
terrible
co-op.
Yeah, I did. Played loads of it in co-op.
Yeah.
That's what made it so much fun. And you just blow shit up. It was just the funniest blowing shit up game ever made.
Yeah.
So there you go. What about you, Ginny?
What was the question again? Like, what like sort of game
Like a
that you
game you
didn't
bought in a
expect?
sale that you weren't expecting to be that great and then turned out to be a gem.
I don't really have one, to be honest. I can't think of one. Sorry, I can't think of one.
No, that's fine. We're not going to force you to come
I suppose like maybe Geometry Wars, like that was like a sort of the first one.
That was a good.
The first, because that was just like an arcade cabinet in a racing game in PGR or wherever it was.
That's correct. Yeah, it was.
And it was like they sort of just threw this game in as a sort of joke, and that game became more known than the racing game.
Well, then it was got released on Xbox Marketplace, didn't it?
Yeah, there was like, that's so good, let's just release it on its own. And I remember buying that.
That was really early in the 360s.
Yeah, that was like the first year. Yeah, that was the first year.
Yeah, it was.
So I remember picking that up, thinking like, oh, I've heard like good thing, like, you know, what's this? And then I was obsessed with it. I was just obsessed with it.
Yeah, he says, take care and keep up the good work, Martin. So thank you, Martin.
Well, Shark 2190 or Martin, you are on the list for the t-shirts.
Yeah, there you go. The next question is off Jonathan Davies. He says, another question for the show. He says, hi, guys.
John Davis is always on the list. So.
Yeah, he's already on the list. A follow-up email to my other question posted in the week. I recently returned from a holiday in Norway.
Ooh.
And was fortunate enough to be able to see the western fjords of Bergen. It was
fighting for the fjords.
It was whilst visiting an 11th century stave church that I had my wish to play a certain RPG beginning with an S. Can you guess what it is yet?
Skyrim.
So I downloaded the anniversary edition from Steam, and I've added some graphical enhancements to give it a bit more polish. But my question is for you.
Go ahead, shoot.
What mods can you recommend to me, as my only experience playing Skyrim previously is on the PlayStation? Anything that provides extra gameplay or features would be great.
Map.
So the short answer is no. In terms of like making the game bigger, like quest mods and stuff, I don't have anything for that because I've never really gone into that. Because they tend to be so uneven. Some of them are good. There's some really good stuff out there, but I've never really messed with them. I stick with the core vanilla quests and stuff. However, that said, yeah, there are better map mods. Sky UI is a must-have. I like iNeeds because you have to eat and drink and rest. I think that's pretty cool. There's a bunch of stuff for like better armor, better swords, better bows. There are some interesting companion mods that you might want to look into. Basically, just go to the Skyrim Nexus make sure it's for the special edition. You don't want to they still have the original up. It can be kind of a pain to get it set up, but once you do, and you have to install the script extender, which is kind of annoying, I know, but once you get that stuff done, don't start messing with ENBs. That's just a whole nother rabbit hole. You don't want to mess with that. That'll mess your shit up quick. But Yeah. You know, lights that you can just have on your belt. That's really nice. You don't have to have torches in a dungeon and stuff. Yeah, I'm sure there's others that I'm forgetting. It's been a minute since I've played, but yeah, that's true. Richard Webster made hunting in Skyrim, which is really worth looking at. Thank you, Dan. Yeah, so those are some suggestions for some mods. But go to there's a website called Skyrim, or there's Nexus. They have mods for every game that allows mods. And go to the SSE, the special edition for Skyrim. And then if you like, they have categories and you can just look at the most endorsed. Those are generally the good ones. There are some really good house mods. Elysium Estate, I think, is the best house mod. So those are the nice things, is that those little quality of life things. Those are the best features, in my opinion, for modding Skyrim. But again, if you're looking for like a whole new quest that takes you to some place that's never existed before, I can't really review those because I don't know.
What was the one you played where you just had nothing to start with and it just dumped you somewhere?
Well, that's another one, right? So you had that's another good mod. Thank you, Stu. It's called Live Another Life, and
there you go.
You can choose from you can choose from like 15 different scenarios when you start the game, which is kind of neat. But of course, they all converge on go to Helgen. There's a dragon. Start the regular part of the game. So, you can start as a vigilant of Stendar, like lost in the woods or whatever, or you're living with a bunch of people in a, Stendar, monk monastery. But there's not much role play to that, except I'm going to go out and kill Daedra. Okay, great. That doesn't really take much of the game. So I wish there were some way to do more role playing in the next Elder Scrolls, because there really isn't a whole lot. It's like, I want to role play part of the Brotherhood now. Okay, great. I want to role play being in the Thieves Guild. Yeah, okay.
Okay. There you go. There's plenty of stuff.
Right. Good question. Finally, good luck. Have fun.
Have fun. Just have fun with that terrible game. No, it's not a terrible game. That's a lie. Okay. Final email tonight
is step, man.
I know. Is from Jason. And he says, best survival game of 22-23.
Force of Nature 2.
Hello, veteran gamers. Start collecting firewood. It's going to be a hell of a winter. Priming us for a cold new year. The situation is out of control. Good luck.
Oh, is that it?
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't
know
what
he's
to
on the
say.
list.
As so often when Jason writes in. We love you. Thank you for writing in. I'm not sure how to respond.
I lie. There is more. There's more.
Oh, you liar.
He says, what's he on about? What is he on about? Of course, I knew you'd say something derogatory about my email.
It's not derogatory. I gotta be honest. I don't know how to answer.
Look, the politics, the economy, the climate, I could go on and on. Just get some fucking firewood and level up your crafting skills. The Lee to your Clementine, Jason. So basically what he's saying is we're all fucked because of the economy and the world as it is.
Yeah.
Shit's gone shit. Shitter. Everything's gone down the shitter. There you go. I think that's what he's alluding to.
I guess so.
And he's on the
list.
list.
But also, Force of Nature 2 is fun.
Yeah, it is. He's saying the best survival game is real life.
Yes. I've been very blessed my whole life, and if the end of the world does happen, I'm gonna be in a lot of trouble because the Duchess can garden and take care of chickens, and we'll be okay here at Chipmunk Hill, but I'm gonna be contributing silly little jokes and wacky stories about people in space. That's not gonna be very
useful. All the locals go, hey, you know where we can get some good stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
Look at Duke's place. He's got chickens and everything.
Yep.
That's what'll happen. They'll all come and kill you for your stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that's it. I think we need to do some shout outs and get the hell out of here.
I think we should.
I think we do.
We love y'all, but leave us alone.
Yeah, leave us alone.
It's time for a shout out. Hey!
Shout out. I'm going to shout out Chinny because he got through the shits and the shit.
Thank you. I've got a request.
Yep.
For shout out, can we shout out TV shows or movies that we've seen as well? Because I don't have things to share.
I watched I Came By this week.
What's that?
Okay.
It's on Netflix. It's a new thriller set in Britain. It's a British thriller now. It's got Hugh Bonneville, who played in the film.
He's Downton Abbey.
Downton Abbey, but he plays a psycho in this. So he's quite a good psycho, to be fair.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
It was all right.
It was all right.
House of Dragons. House of Dragons is hotting up.
Ugh.
House
Oh,
of
yeah.
Dragons is getting
I'm
pretty
so
good.
done with Game of
this,
Thrones, man.
This
Get the
week's
Yeah, we know,
episode
Duke. We're clear on your opinion.
was a little
No,
bit.
everyone needs to hear my opinion constantly.
I dare to say the word incestuous is probably the best way to describe it.
No,
I know.
I am shocked.
I know.
Shocked.
Yeah.
Well, not that.
And possibly a little bit paedophily, can we say?
Bit of
Yeah.
noncery.
Bit of that stuff going on this week.
Bit of
yes.
Prince Andrew going on.
Yep.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Uh,
So there you go.
too
That's
soon,
pretty
man.
much Game of Thrones, House of Dragon stuff.
Yes. Go ahead, Chinny. What were you going to talk about? that you
I
saw?
watched 2 movies this week that were very good. I watched Prey,
Oh
Okay.
yes, the new one.
the new Predator movie.
Predator movie.
Yeah,
Yep.
which
I
I
see
thought
what
was
they did there, by the way. Predator and Prey.
which was very good, very good. I really enjoyed that. And a few little nods to the original Predator, which you'll like, which you'll appreciate
good.
if you're a big fan. And I watched a movie called Everything Everywhere All at Once,
Oh yeah, I've heard good things about that.
which is very good. I mean, it's the same 2 guys that made Swiss Army Man. So if you've seen Swiss Army Man, which is a movie where a guy stranded on a desert island uses Daniel Radcliffe's dead body as a Swiss
yes,
Army.
No, I've seen this and thought,
Yeah.
what is that film?
Like
It
he,
looks
he,
weird.
he works out how to make him pass wind and then uses him as a sort of jet ski. So it's very, very weird. Everything Everywhere All at Once is
Yeah, I'm not sure that's my kind of thing, to be honest.
it's a comedy sci-fi movie. It's got bits of like Matrix in it and bits of like Parasite in it, and yeah, it's very, very funny. It's if you look at it as it's sort of like a comedy sci-fi, not a serious film. I think if you approach it that way, it's very good. It's a bit long. I thought it was a little long and it's very exhausting because you're like, what is going on? But I think the point of the movie is to confuse you, so I won't think too hard about it. But it's very, very good, very well made, and the special effects were done by 5 people, which is pretty phenomenal. So Everything Everywhere All at Once is.
I'll tell you the other film I watched the other week, which was great. Elvis.
Oh, well, you're right. Yeah. Does he talk about how he stole
Loved it.
black people music? Does he
Yeah,
mention
exactly.
that?
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
fine.
yeah.
Oh, good.
It goes from his roots right up till him obviously dying.
On the bog. So the
Good.
I
Really
watched the other episode of Lord of the Rings. I think it's a bit slow, but it's
Yeah,
fine.
I haven't got around to that yet, I must admit.
It's
haven't
fine.
seen it.
I just think it's just like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's all right.
I don't know. Yeah.
It's not grabbing me.
Not got yet.
We watched River Runs Through It, which, I mean, performances were good, but I don't know. It feels like a film of its time, by which I mean 1920. And we also watched Fast Color, which is a very good Netflix film about this woman who has some sort of undefinable superpower, and then she's trying to find some answers, and stuff goes wrong, and a lot of it is kind of like, it takes a while to get going, but when it does, it's got some really interesting stuff. Like the last 20 minutes are really good of that film. So Fast Color, Netflix, strongly recommended. Not perfect, but very good. Yep. Are we still doing shout outs? Can I do some?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Great.
You do whatever you want.
You don't have
Marty
to do.
Grease
You don't have
Lips.
to do like movies in your shadows. I'm just.
No, I
saying.
know. I just tend to do that. Like when I ask my students, like, what was your weekend? They're like, I worked and I slept. Great. You sound like you're really having fun living your life. And then I tell them about a movie I watched. So that's my natural default thing. So anyway, Marty Grease Lips is dealing with some fun new medical stuff. Keep your head up, man. You got this. Strength and love to you, dude. And then Christian Barclay sent me a Toxic Frog comic, which was awesome. So thank you to him for that, because it really made me lol. So cheers. And also everybody on Twitter who's playing Framed with me, and just everybody listening, and especially in the chat, Dan and Soul Brother and SLH, and James Bevan and everybody, Jonesy or Juicy, and
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yep. Anything
That's
else?
a show. I think that's a show.
No, I mean that's it.
Oh, I have got.
Whoa.
I've got a code.
Oh.
for,
Okay.
Horizon. Forbidden West.
Oh.
That's spare. I think somewhere.
It'll be somewhere. You know what it's
cool.
like.
I got
It'll
it.
be
I got it.
somewhere.
Somewhere.
It came with the PlayStation, but I don't need it because I've already got it. So,
Yeah.
let me know if anybody wants that.
Yeah, if you want it, let him know.
So, yeah, it'll be a first come first serve. So sorry if you miss it. But I thought I saw it the other day. I was like, I should give that to somebody. So there you are.
There you
Good.
go.
There you go. We're done.
Right. That's it.
If
Thanks,
you like
everybody.
this podcast, there is another site you should check out, which is called VGHub.net.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Perfectly level flying is the spring challenge of the scale model class.
I just fell on my bottom into some butterscotch.
I'm a potato.
That's the show.
That's the show.
That's the show.
Episode 663.
Yeah. And I'm going to stop recording now.
Okay, that's enough. No more talking.
So I'm watching Parks and Rec again, Duke.
Oh, yeah.
Mwah. I'm actually watching it again, too, because I had to join Peacock in order to watch it. And so I wanted to get 2 viewings in before I cancel that
So
subscription.
I'm on season 6.
Oh, yeah.
And Ben and Leslie they just found out that they're having triplets.
Yeah.
So
Is that the one where is Tommy trying to fight with their doctor at the same time? Oh, no, that was Ann Perkins and Chris Traeger.
yeah,
But they do have the same doctor.
that's right. Which is Thingy's dad, isn't it?
Bonds. John Ralphio's dad. Yeah.
John Ralph. You know
Money,
John
please.
John Ralphio's sister.
Yeah, she made that snail movie. I really want to see it.
She's in Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh, okay. She's
I was
a good
like,
actor. I really like
who is that? And Tara was like, it's
Yeah.
John Ralphio's sister. I was like, oh
Right.
yeah.
We've been doing that a lot. We've been watching Fresh Off the Boat, which is a very funny show. You should check it out. And they keep having people on. And we're like, wait a minute, who's that? Oh, I recognize him.
Yeah. When we was
Diane's the
watching-
best at that. She gets those twice as fast as me.
Simeon is really good at that, and Tara's quite good at it. But there was
Yeah.
there was one guy in Parks and Rec, and I was like, instantly recognised him, and it was Frank Sabaka from The
Tabaka,
Wire.
yeah.
I was like, oh, that's Frank.
Yeah.
Um,
He's also a good actor.
very good actor. But we did it a lot on Seinfeld. Like basically, when we was watching Seinfeld, Tara was like realising that Friends had stolen basically all their stories and actors from Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Yeah. So fun.
Fun. All
Oh,
right, y'all. I'm gonna
Actually, I
edit-
forgot.
How it
We watched another film the other week, actually, that
Oh,
I've never seen before.
oh, do tell. What was
Cars.
it? Come on.
Never seen Cars before.
Well,
No,
the
I've never
Pixar
seen it.
film.
It's always
Yeah.
listed as like
It's
the worst Pixar ever.
It is. It is. There's a reason for that, though.
It's not
But
that
I have some
bad.
students who love it. Like some of
not
my
that
students are
bad.
like,
It's-
fuck everybody, it's great.
It's Millie's boyfriend's favorite movie. He loves it, right? So I said, "We'll watch it.
So
we'll
you
watch
need to
it."
have
I've
a
never
talk
seen
with
it.
her then, huh?
I did quite enjoy it.
It's
gotta
not
say.
that bad. I was going to say,
It's
it's
not
all
that
right.
bad.
I mean,
But-
the worst Pixar movie's still going to be better than your average
But
animated film.
here's the problem I have with Cars,
That's
right?
the problem.
Yeah.
It's promoting a fossil fuels
No,
culture while
no,
the
no,
planet
because
is
I'm
dying.
sat there watching it. I'm
Oh
thinking,
no, we don't care about that.
I've
No.
seen this film before.
Really?
This story feels very, very familiar.
Oh, is it Toy Story?
Where have I seen this film before? No, it's a complete copy and paste of Doc Hollywood. That is basically the story.
Of all the
of
movies you're
this
going to
Doc
rip off, why
Hollywood.
that one?
What
It
is there a
is.
scene in Cars where he gets a
Michael J.
fucking
Fox.
thing out of somebody's ear? What are you talking
No.
about?
Doc Hollywood basically is
He
about
goes. He's on his way to Hollywood. And he crashes in a
he
small
crashes
town.
in a car in some small
Is
hit
that really what
town,
happens?
and he's a horrible person, and he has to become a nice person because he's in this hick town. And there's a woman who weirdly was a lawyer in the big city, and then went for the country life. Weirdly, there's a car.
Well,
who was
I did
lawyer
a
in
search
the
for
big
car
city
Pixar
who
cars
goes
Doc
to a
Hollywood.
country life.
Wow.
He's the
I did a search
exact
for Pixar
same-
cars Doc Hollywood. There's a video that's like mashup of
Every
cars in Doc
single,
Hollywood.
every major story beat that's in Doc Hollywood is in Cars.
Well,
Every single, even the final shot.
Yeah.
This
literally
website
like
from
for like.
whatculture.com says that it's a shot-by-shot
It is.
adaptation of
It's
Duck Hunt.
almost the exact same
Okay.
movie.
What else
Yeah.
did they say got ripped off from somewhere else?
Which is
Alien
fine.
stole its premise from It, The Terror Beyond Space. Come on. I mean,
No,
nobody's
Doc
going to argue
Hollywood
that
and
Alien
Cars
was
is-
original, but
It is pretty
Black Swan
close.
is a remake of Perfect Blue.
No, I don't think there's many kids watching Cars though going, hang on,
Even
I've seen this
It
before.
doesn't matter. Like, if you're going to rip off, rip off.
the main character in it's called Doc.
Yeah,
Well, there you
One
go.
of the main characters is called Doc.
yeah.
So you know,
Inception took
my
its
little
central premise
nephew-
from a Donald Duck
but
cartoon.
it is a good movie.
My
It's
little
fun. It is a
nephew
good
Leo, I've watched Cars hundreds of times, and
Yeah.
my little nephew Leo loves Cars.
I like
Well, then
it,
you
don't
should
get
show
me
him
wrong,
Doc
right?
Hollywood and be like, if you like that, wait till you see
Love that
this.
You know what he'd say?
Apart
He'd
from
be
the
like,
sex,
Fox,
apart from the
baby.
sex scene.
no,
Yeah. No, that you got to get them started, man. They need to know the facts of
no,
life.
it's in Cars. The sex scene. It's really weird.
No, there's a sex,
Oh,
there's a
okay.
sex
I didn't
scene in
realize
Doc
there was a
Hollywood
sex
as
scene in
well.
Cars.
Weirdly.
Like that car?
It's bumper to bumper.
Yeah, it
Ah, bump and grind to bumper.
Yeah.
Bumper to bumper and grind.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go say hi to the Duchess because she just rode 7,000 miles on her bike.
Cool.
Well done to the Duchess. Right,
Yeah.
we'll let you go, and I'm going to
Peace
bed.
out.
And I will speak
Feel
to you
better.
guys next week. I hope so.
Stop shitting,
I can't
Chinny.
keep
Stop
feeling
pooping,
like this.
as Chris Traeger says.
And I'll try and breathe more.
better, Stu.
And I'll try and breathe more.
Yeah.
Will be useful.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a shocking lack of benches in Ramsett Park. I want to sit more.
We should
Parks.
find a game that we can all play, or at least me and you, Stu.
Well, I've got one already.
What?
What is it?
What do you think it is?
What?
Come on. What did we say at the
What?
beginning of the show, man? Deathloop. We can both play Deathloop.
Oh, right.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It releases
maybe I'll
in a
get
day.
what you call it.
Releases
Maybe
in a
I'll
day,
get
so
the-
we'll
I can
both
play. I can
Deathloop.
play Deathloop on the PlayStation 5 now. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but you haven't got it,
Ooh,
have you?
look at
Have you got it?
fancy, man.
Yeah, I got the PlayStation
Yeah.
5. Plus, like
Oh,
Game
you have the
Pass
Game
thing.
Pass for the PlayStation.
Oh, well, we'll play
Sony's
Deathloop then.
Game
Because I
Yeah,
can
I
play
can
that.
play
You
All
can
right,
play
I
that.
might play it. I'm not making any
You
promises.
can't play it. You'll have to buy it. Are you going to buy it?
Well, no, but I could get. They have a Game Pass for the PC, yo.
Oh, that is true. And it is on
Hello?
there.
It's. I think it's. I think it's good for the show if
Hello?
we like.
Hello?
If we
Hello?
try and talk about
Hello.
something that we've all played.
Yeah. You always think about what's good for the show. I want to give listeners what they want. What about Duke's needs?
Yeah, dude, we need
Yeah.
survival game for him.
All right. Well, I don't know if I can swing at $10 a month. I'm already paying for Peacock.
It's $7.99, isn't it? Isn't it not $7.99?
I don't know how much it is. I'm not made out of $7.99, but I might be
Maybe
able to. swing it.
$7.99
I don't
on
know. We'll
PC.
see. I'm not
Well,
promising
no,
nothing.
no, don't.
No,
But you
that's
could do
all
the 30-day trial, couldn't you?
I already did that with my main email address. I'm not trying to set up multiple accounts.
Just do one more. It'd be fine.
I'm a busy man. All right.
Well, let's
have a good week.
Right, we'll try and play Deathloop for next week, all three. Well, I
All right,
will.
I'll try.
Yeah,
Well,
or if it's
I
just
can't
me and
promise
Stu,
I'll
it's fine.
try, but I'll try to try.
Yeah. Good.
He'll try to try.
Yeah.
Okie doke.
Deathloop.
I will leave you to it. Have a nice evening. I hope you're feeling better soon, Chinny.
Deathloop.
Deathloop.
We'll
Radio.
We'll give it a go.
See you later.
See you, mate.
Go to bed.
Bye.
Bye.